So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Welcome to the city, Motor City, where it's summer sell-down. Drive away a GMC Sierra 4-door, only $29,990. Or save up to $10,000 off select Sierra HD models. Summer sell-down offers end September 3rd. We are professional grade, and we are California's largest volume GMC dealer, Motor City.
Current Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home. Current Schools is here to help. And if you live in Kern County, then you can bank with us. See, we're local just like you. So what we accomplish together benefits our entire community. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
For over 100 years, Bakersfield College has helped thousands of people achieve their dreams through education. Now Bakersfield College is bringing college closer to home, with courses offered in Southwest Bakersfield on Stockdale Highway, downtown Bakersfield, and at the main campus on Panorama Drive. Programs and classes also available in Delano, Shafter, Arvin, and online. Your path to a bright new future can start today at the home of the Renegades. It's easy. Take the first step. Visit bakersfieldcollege.edu to learn more.
It's Friday night, and that means only one thing. Friday Night Football live right here on the Kern High Network. Welcome in on the broadcast, everyone. Good evening, coming to you from Stockdale High School, home of the Stockdale Mustangs. And this evening, the Mustangs hosting the Frontier Titans coming into this game. And Tom Myers on the broadcast. Good evening, everybody. I'm joined up here on top of the press box by Kenny Calvin, my partner in crime, looking for some fun football to call tonight, and of course Julian Wilson, our producer and cameraman extraordinaire. And Kenny, we're looking at a couple of different kinds of squads tonight. One that likes to air it out, another one that kind of likes to play a little smash mouth football. We saw that the ability of Stockdale to get the ball down the field quickly to that wide receiver Jeremiah Gradowitz, and Jack Kaiser and him been hooking up all year long. What do you think?
Absolutely. Gradowitz played with some heart last week in a lopsided loss to Liberty. One of the things that I wanted to recognize was who was still going to play with heart when you're getting kicked in the teeth. Gradowitz was the one player outside of Kaiser who continued to keep that level of intensity when the superstar Jacob Jones went down. So I'm excited to see what both of these teams have to bring to the table based on the fact that they're both were served a bit of humble pie last week, being that they lost the teams that they thought that they could compete with. Frontier losing to Bakersfield High and Stockdale losing to Liberty.
On the other end of course, in the interest of full disclosure, I am the public address announcer at Frontier High School. I know this Frontier squad really well. The big story about them, Travis Pluggy making his way back to sophomore tonight. He's going to be making it into the rotation along with Cheveria. And the Titans are going to boot it away, a little short squib kick, and that's going to be down right there at the 46-yard line, and the Mustangs will go to work.
Well, I like Frontier trying to catch him off guard, a little quick sky kick, onside kick, but Stockdale was prepared, didn't run away. Usually that front line turns and runs, not paying attention to when the ball is kicked, but they did a great job being prepared, Tom.
Yeah, Stockdale 5-3 overall, so won 2 in league, currently in second place in the Southwest Yosemite League. This is the second to the last game of the season, so real big league implications for Stockdale in this one. The Titans at 1-2, they're kind of out of it now and just trying to make up any ground they can at the end of the season to get into the playoffs.
Absolutely. Trips open set.
And there's a handoff. That's going to go to number 4, Elijah Hudson, and Hudson's taken down quickly. Pick up about a yard on the play. Reese Greer, number 31, on the stop, and we're going to talk about Reese Greer a lot tonight. The Titans heavy with sophomore talent this year. Reese Greer, proof of that.
Yes, indeed. In our first couple of times we saw Frontier play, that the sophomores did bulk of the work.
Yeah, and, other sophomores on the team, of course, Jaden Perez, Travis Pluggy, the quarterback we just spoke about, Braden Heath, Reese Greer, Riley Hernandez, an absolute monster, and we're going to see a little bit of them this evening. And there's Hernandez almost making a play in the backfield. He's number 46, 6'2", 230 pounds as a sophomore.
Well, what caught me off guard right there was seeing the pink flags in honor of breast cancer from our officials. Nice touch by the Kern High School district. It's staying green.
Absolutely. So that's going to be a false start called against the Mustangs. And we're going to push them back 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 14 from right around the 43-yard line now.
Shotgun double set for Stockdale against the 30 even front.
Again, the quarterback, number 11, Jack Kaiser for the Mustangs. Kaiser in a fill-in role, and we'll talk about my conversation with Jeremiah Gradowitz earlier this evening. And so pass out in the flat to number 1, Lauren Johnson. He's taken down by Hernandez and Greer. Also on the stop there, number 33, J.D. Cueva. And we're going to be talking about J.D. Cueva all night long. Cueva, also a junior. You know, a lot of young talent on this Titan squad.
Yes, and right now for Stockdale, what I'm paying attention to is this running back rotation because sophomore superstar Jacob Jones looked like he's going to be out another week with that high ankle sprain. And we had Elijah Hudson starting. Now we got Darius Larsul coming in relief.
And I heard a lot earlier when I talked to Jeremiah Gradowitz about Larsul and his impact that he's going to be making tonight on this squad. And now it looks like Jack Kaiser running for his life out there. Hernandez almost got him. Hernandez helped him up. Good sport. And he was driven out of bounds by number 15, Eric Miranda, a senior for Frontier.
And I'm impressed, even though they didn't get the first down, I'm impressed with Kaiser's ability to try to make something happen because last week, once Jacob Jones went out, the whole offense was stagnant. And right away, they're able to move the ball a little bit, at least to play the field position game.
And Jack Kaiser, big shoes to fill, with Jeremiah Gradowitz out for the season with that knee injury.
Wow. Huge blow to a Stockdale team with Gradowitz being out.
So the Mustangs are going to go to punt here. Back deep for them is number 7, Kevin Hughes, their big returner for Frontier, and that's a nice punt right to the corner. Oh, and it's going to get into the end zone, and the Titans are going to have it at the 20-yard line.
Tough bounce. But if you're Frontier, you got to be proud of yourself coming out and stopping a tough Stockdale team and forcing them to go 3 and out after the onside kick attempt.
So once again, everybody, welcome in on the broadcast. Of course, our broadcast brought to you this evening by Bakersfield College, Motor City, and Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. Thank you for your support of our students in the district. So the Titans are going to have it at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. And right now, over at the sideline, getting ready to come in, that's going to be number 5, Israel Chevaria. Now, Chevaria has been the main quarterback for most of the season because Travis Pluggy went down with a broken hand or a wrist. That wrist has somewhat repaired itself now. Travis is going to be looking to probably get shifted in a little bit. Pluggy has, as a sophomore, has a real good ability to look over the line because he's almost 6'5" and throw the ball on a rope all the way down the field. So that ball now moved back to the 10-yard line. And I'm trying to figure out, there was a penalty of some kind. I didn't catch that. I think we were too busy discussing all the particulars of moving on through this game. So we missed that. Apologize for that. Obviously a 10-yard penalty.
No announcement
called against the Titans
either.
So 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line for the Frontier Titans. Israel Chevaria from the shotgun, and it's handed off. And that's going to be somebody who we hadn't spoken about yet, senior Jacob Moonminivong. And Moonminivong, their main running back, who is kind of a speedster. And if he gets out in the flat, he's going to take off on you. Good ability to cut and turn.
Absolutely. Moonminivong was our player of the game when Frontier was broadcasted a few weeks ago. But I like the fact that Mr. Elijah Hudson is getting some penetration on that first run play because they're going to be challenged up front by Frontier's offensive line.
Yeah, and on the defense for Stockdale, Zeke Armijo and Jose Sainz, the big linebackers for Stockdale. So Frontier's going to have to negotiate their way around those two guys as they block up the middle. So Chevaria, and he's in trouble.
Sack.
And I don't know if he got a safety or if he got dropped at the 1-yard line.
Whoa.
And he is still at the 1-yard line. They were signaling safety, but down he goes.
Well, right away, number 64, James Lucio, who had a fantastic game, if you can say that, for any Stockdale Mustang last week against Liberty. But he continued to play his heart out in the trenches, and he's showing some big results right away.
So 3rd down and long now for the Titans. And, of course, this evening is going to be a little bit rowdy because we are sitting right above the storied black hole And the black hole this evening is all dressed in pink, so for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So kudos to the student section for coming out and supporting this month, October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And there's a handoff at the middle.
Stoned right away, and that might be a safety, ladies and gentlemen, because he did not.
Yeah, they're calling it a safety.
He did not get to the line of scrimmage. How about that defensive line?
Wow, Stockdale doing a great job. And Moon Mini ball got met in the backfield, and it got stopped immediately. And 2 points on the board for Stockdale already.
Well, if you're a team that's coming off a loss because you lost your offensive weapon, what better way to get it going than defensive points?
Yeah, so wow. A big stop early and pushing them way back, and the Titans go in the wrong direction already right here in the early going. 8:19 left to go here in the first quarter.
And even though we missed it, whatever that 10-yard penalty, which more than likely was a hold on the kickoff return, that paid huge dividends for Stockdale. Backing Frontier up inside their own 5.
Wow. Big mistake so far for the Titans. So now Frontier is going to be kicking off from their own 25-yard line.
Amazing play by that defensive line. So let's talk about the 3 plays that were ran. You have a run play that was stopped for 1 yard. You have a pass play where he barely escaped the sack for a safety, and then he ends up on the 1 yard line. And then the next play after that, they try to run a simple power play, and he stopped for a safety.
Well, and to make things a little sense of things, Frontier's offensive line has been decimated this year. A number of players that have gone down. Colin Mallard, their big left tackle, that kid's about 6'5", 300 pounds. He's out. Riley Garcia broke an ankle last week, or a tibia or a fibia. And so we're really not seeing the full power of the offensive line on Frontier. Meyer Simmons has stepped up, who is on defense, number 66, has stepped up to play guard and normally plays just defense. So, I mean, the offensive line of Frontier is really going to have its handful tonight.
And that's tough because that was the actual strength of the football team the first time I watched them. Their offensive line played fantastic.
That's right. So, the Mustangs will start from the 43-yard line of the Titans.
Trips open set for Kaiser.
And there's going to be a handoff. That's going to be number 10. Darius Larsul
for a gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
And Larsul picks up about 2 on the play.
Well, Tom, I got to tell you, I don't get rattled easily, but this student section got it rocking right here up under us, man.
Yeah, they have the press box moving back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, so if I stutter a bit, it's because I'm trying to get my wits about me.
It's an exciting evening, so there's obviously going to be a lot of background noise here this evening, so we'll do our best to comment on what we see going on. Kaiser fires over to the near side, and that's caught. Number 1, Lawrence Johnson, pushed out of bounds by number 10, Byron Floyd.
I talked about this in the first drive. I like the fact that Stockdale is trying to do something to keep balance in their offense, because last week they were just so run-focused, and once you lose your star running back, you just can't keep doing the same thing. You have to add some variety. So whether we like to say it or not, or they like to say it or not, Jacob Jones being out may help them be more of a well-rounded football team.
Yeah, on the other end, the Titans are missing Ty Shepard. He's out. And Devin Eason is out as well. So 2 key defenders for the Frontier Titans are both missing tonight. Larsul, big pickup there on the play, and that's going to be a 9-yard pickup and 2nd down and 1 as the Mustangs moving the ball down the field at will.
Doing a great job. They're in that shotgun, and they're running RPO zone read plays, and it's a simple handoff in a read for Kaiser, whether to keep it or give it.
So right now, I don't see Meyer Simmons, number 66, who is normally a defensive tackle in there. I don't see him in the game.
Ooh.
And there's a nice tackle. And that's number 15, Eric Miranda, in the backfield. Miranda doing a good job there. We'll call Miranda's name quite a few times this evening.
Well, we already have called it a few times because he's flying around, Tom.
So a first down for the Mustangs. They're all the way down to the 17-yard line now. 6:37 left to go here in the first quarter. And they're ahead 2-0.
Trips open set for Kaiser. Hudson to his left. 30 even front for Frontier.
So Kaiser looks to his right, fires. Ooh. Caught by number 3, Jeremiah Gradowitz. And I'm surprised that's the first time we've heard his name tonight, and we're going to hear that one all night long.
Absolutely. Gradowitz, tough player, plays with heart.
So Gradowitz run out of bounds by Kevin Hughes.
And it's 2nd and 5.
2nd down and 5 now at the 17-yard line for the Mustangs. Clock stopped at 6:14 here in the first quarter. A raucous crowd out here tonight for Stockdale. This side of the stands is completely packed, and Frontier brought quite a few fans with them as well. There's a handoff up the middle to Elijah Hudson, and Hudson's all the way down to the 9-yard line, and that's a 1st down and goal now for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that offensive line of Stockdale is playing with a better brand of intensity. You know, and they're not doing anything exotic. They're either going RPO run inside or they're throwing hitch routes to their outside receivers, hitches and bubble screens and swing routes.
Titans now working on their heavy package. Jake Andrews just came in. He's number 59. Meyer Simmons over on the left side.
Oh!
And immediately that's Reese Greer. No, not Reese Greer, excuse me. Number 33, J.D. Cueva, upending the running back in the backfield. Great job there. And a little bit of a bright spot for Frontier's defense finally.
Finally, some penetration. I've highlighted the penetration of Stockdale. Now we finally see some on the other side of the football. Cueva doing a great job getting low as low can get.
And Elijah Hudson was head over heels on that one. And so now he's still in the backfield. Kaiser from the shotgun. And he's going to hand it off to Hudson, and Hudson's going to pick up a few yards before he gets met.
For a gain of about 4. And we're looking at 3rd and goal.
And now it's 3rd and goal now from about the 6-yard line.
Yeah, and they go with that inside zone read, and it's hard to do that in shotgun inside the 10-yard line because all the bodies are so congested.
3rd and goal, Stockdale from this.
Well, and right now, Frontier going with the 3-4 defense. And so Stockdale kind of picking that apart, and the linebackers really having to do extra work to clean up the mess in between the gaps.
Absolutely, and now they're staying in that shotgun double set. I expect combination routes on the outside, being that it appears Frontier's in man coverage.
So Darius Larsoul now in the backfield with Kaiser.
And there's those combination routes I told you, the wing route. Woo.
And looking at the corner, looking for Jaden Hollis, and that falls incomplete.
Hollis falls incomplete, and we're looking at 4th.
Good coverage out there by Frontier. I'm trying to see the number. And that looks like number 10, Byron Floyd on the coverage. Floyd doing a good job. I had Floyd in class today, actually.
Nice. Way to teach him. Yeah. Way to teach him to stay deep is the deepest, Tom.
Floyd also a very good student and a very well-mannered student. So he does all of his work out here on the football field, I think.
It's one of the hardest jobs you have playing man coverage in the slot because they have such room outside. But great job pinning his shoulder into his chest and driving him. The ball was overthrown as the kick is up. So the 22-yard
field goal, and that is incomplete. No good.
No good, and the score remains Stockdale 2.
And that was Jack Kaiser. Hollis on to hold.
Remaining in the first quarter.
And the Titans taking a big sigh of relief right now, holding that one off.
Talk about big-time defense, Titan Tom. They do a great job when their back was against the wall. Then you get some great man coverage out of your secondary on an overthrown ball. Do your part, I'll do my part. That's what the defense is saying.
Dare I say it, Titans with the best field position that they've had so far in the game, and that's the 20-yard line. This their second possession of the game.
1st and 10, Frontier from the 20-yard line.
Well, I'm definitely excited to see what Jaden Smith has to bring to the table after seeing him perform in our last broadcast for Frontier High School.
Yeah, and look at this. Travis Pluggy now in the game. I'll guarantee you they're looking to throw the ball here. And, of course, I'm wrong. Handoff to Jacob Moon-Minivong. Moon-Minivong gets forward for about 2 yards before he's brought down.
So this is my first time getting to see Pluggy. I remember you talking about how important he was to the process for the Titans.
And Hudson.
I know he's excited to get back out there.
Well, along with a lot of other sophomores on this squad for Frontier, they literally have 6 or 7 guys that are contributing right now for this Frontier football program. So kind of a young program, but in a building mode right now. And great senior leadership and everybody really kind of trying to get together to bring these sophomores along. I know Coach Bandy personally, and he's really excited about these sophomores. Pluggy back to pass, and he's got Riley Hernandez, and here comes big Riley Hernandez, big red, and he pulls 3 guys over and drags them all the way up to the 47-yard line, and boy, is he fun to watch.
Boy, he's the one person that I do remember as well, because Riley plays big on both sides of the football. They run that post from the wide receiver's position, and they got that crossing route from the tight end. Or was that an out route from the left hash, but great job.
Well, and also, if you think about it, how important was the offensive line on that possession, doing a great job of holding off that Stockdale defense.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I pointed out. No matter the holes that they have to fill, they play well as a unit.
Yep. So here goes Pluggy again, and that's going to be a handoff to Minibong. He's around the right side, cuts back, and he's taken down for a loss.
Signs with a great
big tackle over there on the left, on the right side, and that's number 16. Sorry, number 18, Jose Signs on the tackle there, and a loss of 2 yards.
Wow. We talked about that. Oh. Well, we have an announcement by the Stockdale student section. They're doing a fundraiser for one of their teachers who died of cancer. Shout out to my mother-in-law, Sherry Harrison, 6-time survivor.
Wow. And I lost my mother back in July.
Wow.
And so definitely a worthwhile endeavor. And Pluggy looking long down the field, and he's got a man open, and he missed him, but he also had another man. And number 4, Jaden Hudson, was wide open with no coverage on him.
Yeah, well, Titan Town, sorry to hear about your mom, but, definitely, we got kind of emotional in the moment of that huge pass, ladies and gentlemen, but combination route from the outside. They try to go with that deep post and just overthrown.
Well, and I'm a big fan personally of this quarterback, number 12, Travis Pluggy. His family is friends with mine. His sister is one of my daughter's best friends, and what a fantastic young man, along with the fact that he's a fantastic football player. And you saw him air that one out downfield like he wasn't even trying. So that's a great handoff. And right there, handoff to number 25, Caden Hernandez, and Hernandez will get a couple of chances to run the ball this evening as well.
Yeah, and let's revisit that long pass play, because when that ball was thrown, if the receiver had continued on his route like he expected it to be thrown, that would have been a touchdown. The receiver actually slowed up a bit because he didn't think Pluggy was going to let it go. And as you see Pluggy's arm, you're not going to worry about
You're not going to outrun his arm.
Yeah, you're not going to outrun his arm, basically.
So now Meyer Simmons on to punt for the Titans, and of course he's the right guard tonight and defensive tackle and punter for the Titans. Of course, we see that with Jack Kaiser as well, and that ball's going to be down all the way down at the 15-yard line, and Stockdale's going to have their worst position so far in the game. We finally got him on one side of the 50-yard line.
This may be one of those kind of games where it's a field position battle, and whoever makes the least mistakes gets it done.
Also for the varsity shout-out,
absolutely.
Because right now, the mistake that they made, or Frontier made on that kickoff return where they had that penalty and backed them up 10 yards, that is the result of that 2 points that they have. And it's been a pretty clean game played so far by both sides of the football.
That's right. So now, once again, Stockdale from their own 14-yard line.
Kaiser at quarterback, first down. Stockdale at the 15-yard line.
First and 10, Jack Kaiser in the backfield. Back there with him looks like number 4, Elijah Hudson. And Kaiser's going to drop back to pass, and he looks like he's in a little bit of trouble, scrambles to his left. And he's going to be forced out of bounds, and that's going to be a loss of about a yard on the play. Second down and 11.
And it looks like there's some confusion between the quarterback and his receiver personnel. They ran that expected route. Looked like deep routes. And it looked like Kaiser was expecting something short and quick.
Shout out to Elijah Martinez. Love you, son, from your proud mama. So proud of you.
I got a few teammates with kids out there. One of them was on that route, Nathaniel Crum, son of my driller teammate, Mr. J. Crum.
So now, second down and 11. And there's going to be a handoff.
Ooh, nice
and a cut back inside. Skip 2 guys.
With a stick your foot in the ground.
And that's Darius Larsoul.
9, bringing up a 3rd and 3.
And, of course, a very animated PA announcer here at Stockdale High School.
He getting them going.
So now it's going to be 3rd down and 2 from the 21-yard line for the Mustangs.
Yeah, the running back by committee doing a great job for Stockdale. They had a good drive as this quarter comes to an end.
And that's going to be it for the first quarter. So far, Stockdale on the board with 2, Frontier 0. We'll be back in just a minute.
Shout out Michael Gabalden. Love you, puppy. Hope you have an amazing. Stockdale gear and apparel. You don't have to go to Amazon.
Welcome back for the second quarter. Stockdale leads 2-0. And they've moved to the other side of the field now. 3rd down and 2 from the 21-yard line for the Mustangs. Kaiser from the shotgun. He looks to his right and throws. And that's caught. And, of course, number 1, Lauren Johnson. And that's going to be a first down for the Mustangs. He gets all the way up to the 32-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was an amazing block by that slot receiver. It looks like Mr. Crum with the block. And on those quick screens, if your receivers don't block, that's usually a loss. Amazing job.
So Stockdale, defense was containing them a little bit, and then they get out in the wide area and take off and pick up 11 yards on the play. So now Kaiser handing it off. And that's up the middle for a pickup of about 2 on the play.
I got to tell you, that Frontier defensive line.
Jacob Jones was on that carry.
Well, it's good to see Jacob get a shot.
We're going to be talking about probably 10 or 11 different offensive weapons that Stockdale has this evening, as if we haven't already. But the one to be really worried about, which we haven't really heard too much out of yet, is going to be Jeremiah Gradowitz, number 3. So I'm still waiting to see a big play from him. Of course, he scored that touchdown a couple of weeks ago against Centennial to win that one.
Wow.
In the waning minute.
Oh,
there's a
fumble,
and I'm going to see who's got it, and it looks like Stockdale got it back.
Oh, and if you're Jacob Jones, you finally get your opportunity to get out there. You're so used to being out there from the gate that you put one on the ground. And I know his dad, Justin, ain't going to be happy about that. Might be about a 50 push-up penalty when he get home.
3rd down and 5 now from the 37-yard line for the Mustangs. Jones still in the backfield. Triple set receivers down here on the near side, and Kaiser throws the throw over there.
Oh!
And that one is incomplete, and a big play and read. That's number 31, Reese Greer, the sophomore, who read that one very well on the play and came up with a big hit.
Boy, Reese Greer almost caused us to need an ambulance out here because he was there right when the ball got there, and I was just worried that it was going to be one of those collisions that we're going to have to scrape somebody off. But
Kaiser wasn't giving Gradowitz any help on that one, was he? So now back to punt is going to be Jack Kaiser. He's also their not only their quarterback, their field goal kicker, and their punter. Back to return, the dangerous Kevin Hughes for Frontier, number 7. He's standing on his 30-yard line, and that snap a little bit high and almost blocked by – and, wow, what a punt by Kaiser.
Whoa.
Oh, wow, all the way down to the 11-yard line. Are you kidding me? Wow,
that's
what
a
a
60-yard punt.
Eric
pressure.
Miranda almost had a piece of it, and Kaiser manages to get that one off, and it is way downfield.
That was a laser.
So the Titans now have the ball all the way back at the 11-yard line.
Another shout out to Giovanni Alvarado. Enjoy your senior year. We love you.
And now the musical quarterback for Frontier High School continues. Israel Cheveria back in for Frontier.
Cheveria is a special player. Plays with heart. As they come out in this twins right pistol formation, he's not afraid to do it with his legs either.
Moon Minivong in the backfield. And Jacob's going to get the fake. And here goes Cheveria, and he's got a man.
Oh.
And it's off the hands of receiver number 4, Jaden Hudson.
Yeah, and it looks like the coverage by Gradowitz was a little early, but nonetheless, great effort to get there and break it up.
Gradowitz doing just enough to kind of not get past interference, but get in the way a little bit. He knew he was late coming over, or he's early coming over on the coverage. And that one was right off the hands of Jaden Hudson.
Absolutely. Great hustle by Gradowitz playing the free safety position. He covered about 40 yards of ground to get there.
So once again, Moon Minivong in the backfield. Cheveria from the shotgun. In motion, that's number 9, Jaden Smith. And that's a handoff of Moon Minivong. He's got a blocker out there.
Oh,
but a great play coming up from the linebacker spot. Number 18, Jose Saenz.
Whoa.
And Wow makes a play, and there's a penalty marker thrown down in the 8-yard line for the Titans.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Saenz is putting in work today because that's about the 5th time we've called his name.
So waiting on the call now, and of course they're looking over to the sideline to see what they want to do. It'll be half the distance to the goal from the spot, or they'll leave it there and they'll take the down. So now it's going to be 3rd down for Frontier and a loss of 2 yards on that play.
I like the decision to give your defense the result of the play because that's a great play in pursuit to stop that from being a huge gain anyway.
And Frontier, Moon Minivong really likes to get around the end, having a lot of trouble doing that with this speedy secondary of the Stockdale Mustangs. So now 3rd down and 12 in the backfield for Frontier. Caden Hernandez, number 25. And a penalty marker comes flying in.
Yeah.
And let's see what that is. That looks like a delay possibly.
Well, a little bit of a false start by
your left guard. A little bit of movement.
Guard.
So once again, half the distance. That'll move them down to the 4-yard line now. So the Titans once again go in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and what's really upsetting about that is that from a formation perspective, it looked like they had what they wanted with trips to the right, one receiver split to the wide side, and you can take advantage of that matchup. Now you're going to see Stockdale adjust because I know they didn't like what they were in.
So now it looks like Jeremiah Gradowitz is moving over to kind of give coverage over there on the far side. And, of course, now they're blowing something dead here, and there's a penalty marker down. And it's a timeout called by the Titans. So 9 minutes and 5 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. And Stockdale leads 2-0. This is more like a baseball score than a football score, Kenny.
Yes, indeed.
Once again, our broadcast brought to you this evening by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Bakersfield College, and Motor City. And why don't you tell us a little something about Stockdale?
Well, when you think of Stockdale, you think of some of the early legends that they have, guys like David Carr, from an athletic perspective. I had one of my defensive back buddies, Corey Hall, one of the people who made this a special field to play on. But as far as their staff, we got Scott Odlin, the principal, Tashawn Winston, AP of Instruction, Teddy Armijo, AP of Administration, Rebecca Foltz, the Dean of Students, Justin Roberts, Athletic Director, and Leah McClain, Activities Director.
Yeah, and Justin Roberts came up and checked on us before the game started. Wanted to make sure that we had everything we needed. So a big thank you to him for checking on us and making sure that everything is taken care of and we have everything we need to do our job to highlight their kids.
Absolutely, and Stockdale's doing a beautiful job. I call them the cream of the crop of our new generation of schools. They're one of the newer schools in Kern County history, and they've done a fantastic job from the start.
So now 3rd down and about 17 for the Titans.
And now they go empty set.
And Hernandez now, he shifts over to the left side. Cheveria all alone in the backfield, and it's going to be a quarterback draw. And they did not get fooled on that one. Number 9, Michael Gabadon.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. And nobody was fooled on. He wasn't fooled on that one because he didn't even bother dropping into coverage. He came on the blitz and brought Cheveria down almost immediately.
That was an amazing play call by that defensive coordinator because they went with a delayed blitz. And Cheveria thought that he had a lane with that quarterback draw, and it was closed quickly.
And Cheveria is really good at that quarterback draw as well, and he had a hole, and it got plugged by Gabaldon.
Well, hey, Gabaldon said, hey, they didn't put that C on my chest for nothing.
So Myers Simmons punting out of his end zone, and that one all the way down to the 40. And unfortunately, Gradowitz, he really wanted to get to that ball and get some more yards. He falls out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Yes, he wanted that one bad, Titan Tom. But how about that blitz? Woo!
So far, had you told me that the story of the game would be Stockdale defense, I wouldn't have believed it.
Well, I knew they had to come out and do something to inspire themselves. After a tough loss last week, it was a game that early 7-0 in the first quarter. It was a pretty tight game, and after Jones went down, it just changed the complexion. So it's good to see the teammates step up.
And now the Titans doing a little bit of their own dance there. That's number 42, Jacob Stevens getting in on the hit. And the Titans now pushing the Mustangs back, 8:05 and counting on the clock here in the second quarter.
2nd and 12.
Myers Simmons also on that penetration as well. Great job by that defense.
Well, and that's Myers Simmons' position. Myers Simmons about 6'1", 230 pounds, and he is built like a truck driver. I mean, just an amazing kid. And really big size on him. So now Kaiser, he's back. He's got plenty of time. And that pass, isn't picked up, and it was almost picked off. Great defense by Kevin Hughes.
Intended for Johnson.
And wow. How about that? Lauren Johnson thought he had an easy one. And Kevin Hughes jumped up and tipped that ball, and then it almost got picked off by Jalen Stevens.
Well, great job by Kaiser getting it off with the pressure in his face because he had 42 bearing down on him. Jacob Stevens.
No, that's Jalen.
Oh, that was Jalen Stevens?
Now, Jalen and Jacob are brothers.
Got you.
And so Jacob is the one that got in on the tackle the last time, and Jalen is the one that drops back and covers. So now it's 3rd down and 11, and Kaiser, he's back to pass once again. Good job by the offensive line. He fires way downfield and way over.
Route.
And now it's going to bring up 4th down.
4th and 12, Stockdale.
And personnel coming in, and Stockdale maybe now trying to pin the Titans way, way back and get themselves, make this game 4-0.
Well, Titan Tom, if you see why I'm frustrated, it's the second time where we see a receiver from opposing teams stop on the route. Right now you see his receiver coach coaching him up. Why did you stop on that route? That could have resulted in an interception.
Now my guess here is that Hughes is going to do his best to try and return that, and that's a mistake. A mistake by Kaiser, and nobody's over there. He can pick that ball up and take off with it. They better get on it quick, and they do.
7-yard punt.
And they had a chance to pin him deep and didn't take advantage of it. So now the Titans, good field position starting from about the 34-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for them with 7:20 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and like you said, interesting to see these two somewhat high-powered offenses. I saw Frontier put up over 40 points my first broadcast. Struggling a bit.
Well, the other thing is they put up those 40 points on a team from Los Angeles, a small charter school. And so, I mean.
Well, hey, I'd have no sympathy for those L.A. schools.
I know you. So now Travis Pluggy back in. He is lone in the backfield, and he's going to drop back to pass. And he's got a receiver right there, number 9, Jaden Smith. And Smith, after the hit, picks up another 5 yards. He pushes forward, and, of course, brought down by number 5, Jacob Jones.
You have to find ways to get your weapons to football, and Jaden Smith is one of them. They go with the quick out. He gets 7 yards after contact.
And right now, the Titans, a little bit different kind of offense with Pluggy in the backfield than with Cheveria. Obviously want to run it, want to pass the ball a little bit more. So we're going to see Bandy's kind of committed to switching them back and forth a little bit in my conversation with him earlier. But let's see what happens or transpires from Pluggy being in to see if that changes his mind any. Kevin Hughes down here on the near side. And, of course, that's going to be a false start. And that's number 4, Jaden Hudson, making the mistake. And it's going to be a 5-yard penalty, still first down now. 6:29 in the second quarter.
Well, Titan Tom, he got away with leaving early to the last play. I thought they were going to get him. That time he was about to clear snap or count early.
So now the Titans back in the huddle, getting ready to call the play.
I'm so proud of you, and I know you're going places. Congrats on an awesome 4 years of band.
Hudson in the backfield, and we haven't seen him in the backfield a whole lot this year. And, of course, now he's going to split out here to the near side. 4 receiver set for the Titans. Pluggy drops back. He's got a guy on him, and he throws it, and it's almost intercepted. Defending on the play there was number 18, Jose Saenz, and number 3, Jeremiah Gradowitz. And that one might have been just a little bit late by Pluggy in getting the ball off.
Yeah, and he's lucky. Oh, personal foul, hit to the helmet. I didn't see that.
And that's going to be a 15-yarder, and I wonder was that against Pluggy in the backfield? Because
had to be.
Contact was not quite made at that point, so that's another late hit. The last time Pluggy went down was on a late hit when he broke his wrist. So a little bit of maybe a little bit of flashback on that one for Travis.
Well, I did see the pressure off the edge, but it looked like the defender swiped at him and hit under the throwing arm. I wasn't sure if there was a defender behind him that caught him on the back of the head. Nonetheless, 1st and 10.
So the Titans on their first trip into Mustang territory this evening from the 47-yard line. And here's Pluggy as he drops back, looks to his left and throws. He's got a receiver. It's caught, number 14, Ian Zapata. And I don't know what the defender was looking at. I thought he was overthrown and going to get an interception, and Zapata pulled it down and picked up another 5 yards.
Yeah, great job on the quick slant and that strong arm that you see out of Pluggy. The DB thought he had a split second to get there.
Well, that one was sailing a little bit high on that play as well. So.
Definitely.
Again, real-world experience. Travis Pluggy's not had a lot of it over the last several weeks being out. So he's just kind of getting into the groove of things. And, of course, now he's going with pass. So Pluggy once again dropping back and looking to his right. He's got a receiver, and that pass is caught. And on the reception, number 4, Jaden Hudson. So Pluggy doing a good job of spreading it around right now and a pickup of 8 yards on the play.
And Pluggy's not scared to throw it into traffic right there. He throws it right into the hook. It's in between 5 defenders. I'm impressed.
5 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock and counting right now as the Titans are at the 22-yard line of the Mustangs. 2nd down and 2.
And here's where you want to be smart if you're Pluggy and not force things because you're in field goal range. It's only a 2-point lead.
So Travis back looks to his left, and he's going to pop one up over the top there and just over the hands of number 4, Jaden Hudson, and incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
But I like the ball placement of where Pluggy put that. And if you're the receiver, instead of continuing to try to adjust this way, spin your head around. Get your head around quickly, and you can catch that over the opposite shoulder, and that's a touchdown.
Well, and as the Titans start to go more pass plays, that's really going to have to loosen up that defensive line of Stockdale, and that opens up run opportunities for the Titans.
Absolutely, and they're staying in a single high safety because when you're in a double set, which Frontier has come out in often, you have an opportunity to take advantage of one-on-one matchups. So right here, I like the matchup with Smith.
So 3rd and 2 with Jacob Moon-Minivong, the main running back for Frontier, in the backfield now. And, of course, now timeout is called by Frontier. 4:42 left to go here in the second quarter. And Coach Chris Bandy wants to talk this over.
Well, I'm willing to bet. I'm not a gambling man. I stopped doing that in high school. But when I'm willing to bet that they saw what we saw up here from them being in a single high safety. And when you have 4 receivers, that safety has to choose. Where do you want to go if there's only one safety? Usually you see double safeties, 2 high safeties when there's 4 wide or 3 wide for that matter. So I'm anxious to see what they're going to come out in.
Coming up at halftime, we're going to do something we normally don't do. We're going to showcase the band coming up at halftime. So we're going to go to commercial as soon as we're done here with this quarter. And then when we come back in a few minutes, we're going to actually show the Mustang Marching Band for tonight. So really excited to get the opportunity to showcase the band. One of the best bands in Kern County is the Stockdale Mustang Band. And, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my Frontier Marching Titans across the way, who brought a very large pep band contingent here this evening to root on their Titans.
Absolutely. I'm a father of a musician. My daughter plays violin.
So pickup of a yard on that play. The Titans now, Pluggy coming back in, and they may go heavy. They may go heavy set here. And power package, because they only need to pick up a yard, and of course that's exactly what they're doing. So in the backfield, that's number 15, Eric Miranda, number 33, J.D. Cueva, and the running back, that looks like Reese Greer. And, of course, Pluggy was doing the quarterback sneak and didn't get it.
He was not going for the sneak. They were trying to catch them off guard with a quick slant, and that defensive line of Stockdale just pushed the offensive line back into his face. Turnover on down Stockdale.
Wow, what a great play by the Mustangs in holding off the Titans on trying to get an easy score.
And if we go back to what I was talking about before the third down attempt, Frontier comes out, and I'm trying to say this quick. Frontier comes out in 3 wide. They had a single high safety for Stockdale, which tells you they have an extra man in the box. You have to take advantage of the passing situation when they put extra men in the box. Nonetheless, turnover on downs.
Absolutely. So now the Mustangs going to work. 3:57 left on the clock here in the second quarter from the 26-yard line. And a timeout is called by the Mustangs. Not quite sure what Brett Shelton saw that he didn't like.
Well, I mean, and I kind of want to revisit what I'm talking about based on that formation. So they came out in that formation with 3 wide against a single high safety on that third down and saw something that told them, hey, maybe we should run on this defense. I totally disagree with that because they have an extra man in the box. I wanted them to exploit the passing situation. Nonetheless, they come out and go heavy against a heavy. That makes it an even playing field. And Stockdale's defensive line is playing hungry. That's not a matchup you want with a shuffled together offensive line.
Well, and so far, as we've been able to tell, with Travis Pluggy in the game, it's a different type of offense for Frontier. And maybe you stay with the pass. Maybe you stay with the pass or at least go
Chevrolet. And stick with what works.
Yep.
More than anything.
That's right. So now, handoff up the middle. And Larsoul is on the carry. That's Darius. And a big hit by number 31, Reese Greer on that play, and J.D. Cueva. But a pickup of 6 yards on the play and leads up 2nd and 4. 3:34 and counting on the clock here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I hate to keep going back to the previous drives, water under the bridge, but talk about the importance of staying in field goal range to kick a field goal to go up 3-2.
That's right. Kaiser looks to his right, has an open receiver, and that's Lauren Johnson. Johnson's going to pick up 2 yards. That's going to bring up third down and 2 now for the Mustangs.
Now, this is a huge third down for the Stockdale Mustangs. If I were them, I'd do my best to try to catch Frontier off guard and maybe take a shot as well, because I haven't seen much past 20 yards as far as shots thrown.
And we've expected far more out of number 3, Jeremiah Gradowitz, this evening, and we really haven't seen that yet, although I have a feeling his time's going to come.
It might come right now with this trips open set.
So Kaiser, and he's going to drop back to pass, and a penalty marker is going to fly. That's going to come back. He's going to get to the first down, but there's a flag on the play. It's probably going to be procedure. Too many men lined up in the backfield against the Mustangs.
Yeah, it looks like the receivers didn't communicate with the official as far as being on the line or off the line. Nonetheless, they're going to get a second chance because they got the first down on that scramble. And Frontier is going to take that penalty, of course.
Absolutely. So kind of dodged a bullet there. And that's going to push Stockdale back now to be 3rd and 7 now. And they're going to be all pushed all the way back to the 29-yard line.
Oh, so frustrating to see Frontier have the kind of drive that they had before giving it back to Stockdale. Now they're still trailing 2 points with 2:41 remaining to play in the second quarter. It's been a pretty good football game, pretty clean football game, not a lot of penalties.
2-0, Kenny. How do we
Hey, we've seen some wild games, Titan Tom.
There, 29-yard line.
So right now, and it's starting to get a little ruckus below us, of course, the black hole for Stockdale. Great group of kids down there rooting on their team.
Oh, nice
And there's
job.
going to be a sack in the backfield, and who else is that but
66.
Myers Simmons.
Myers.
Big Myers Simmons finally getting a hold of that quarterback and taking him down, and a big loss on the play. And now it's fourth down, and here comes Kaiser. He's going to back up and punt the ball instead of throwing it this time now.
How about that Frontier defense stepping up after the turnover on downs, and Myers Simmons getting in the backfield for a second tackle for a loss. He might have more than that.
And now here comes Kevin Hughes is back.
Oh, and it's
and that
blocked.
one is blocked. And
It's
into the block, J.D. Cueva got into the backfield and blocked the punt. They kept getting close every single time that Kaiser was ready to get it, and finally somebody got to him.
How about the defensive Frontier doing something special to lift up the spirits of the Blue?
And now the Titans have the ball at the 17-yard line with 1:40 to go and a real chance to take the lead here before they go into the locker room at halftime.
Well, right now, if I'm this offense, I get my guys and I say, hey, we owe these guys big time. We got to convert this into a touchdown.
And we've seen two different offenses from Stockdale so far. One that is unbeatable and drives itself down the field, and then the other one that doesn't. And we've also seen two different defenses. And now Chevrolet in the backfield, he's getting his shot. Back there with him, number 25, Caden Hernandez. And Hernandez is coming over to block and help out. Chevrolet has got a wide open receiver.
Oh, and it's caught.
And he hit him. But he's down right at the 1 foot line. He couldn't get in. That's number 9, Jaden Smith. Great catch over there. And the Titans now, 1:31 to go, with a chance to put it in the end zone. Great catch.
How about the design on that play by the coaching staff?
Rolling right, throw left.
Wow. Amazing design.
And we said that at the same time, by the way.
Hey, man, we got our rhythm down now, Titan
So now
Tom.
Stockdale standing there with their hands on their hips trying to figure out what's happened here. And the Titans going heavy, and that looked like a false start, but they're going to go ahead and give it to him anyway, and the Titans are in. Touchdown, Frontier.
Touchdown, Titans. You got to love the fact that the defense and special teams gave them an opportunity with the block punt. And you also love the fact that the offensive coordinator had faith in his quarterback, bringing him in off the bench and throwing an exotic play in there. That wasn't easy to do with the rolling right and throwing left to get down there.
Israel Chevrolet with the quarterback sneak on that one. And now on for the extra point, number 11, Daniel Foster. And holding for him, number 4, Jaden Hudson. Of course, the long snapper for Frontier.
Kick for Frontier.
Number 20, Ryan Bozanich.
Bozanich. He played well the first game that we took care of for
Yes,
Frontier.
he did. Got to run the ball a little bit, too. So that field goal is up and good. 1:03 left to go here in the first quarter. It's Stockdale 2, Frontier 7. We'll be back in just a second.
Another shout out for Nate Crum. Woo.
And welcome back. Titans kicking it off, and of course they're going to squib it because they don't want to give anybody a chance to try and get down the field.
Kickoff and moves it forward to the 40 where Stockdale will take over.
And so Stockdale's going to have it at the 40-yard line.
Well, Titan Tom, I'm trying to get my headphones back on, and I'm taking your head off with my roster board.
We're in limited space up here on top of the press box. So we're squeezed together in about 7 square feet, you and I. And Julian has 7 for himself because Julian Wilson hasn't figured out that he doesn't have to keep going to the gym because he won. He's won. There's no reason to keep going. Look at you. You're done.
Shotgun double set for Kaiser.
From the 41-yard line in the backfield with Jack. That's number 4. Elijah Hudson. He lets that one fly and misses his receiver, number 3, Jeremiah Gradowitz.
And is it me, or does Stockdale look a little nervous? I know they're trying to get something done with a minute left in this 2-minute offense, but they don't have the same swag that they've had after going down 5 points.
And you're absolutely right. It seems as though either they've gotten a little tired or they have kind of gotten away from the game plan that led them down the field in that first series.
I agree. Trips open set for Kaiser.
And they were winning field position as well. So Kaiser now back, and he looks and throws over to his left. And right there, a shoe pops off. And that's number 4, Elijah Hudson on the catch. And on the tackle, I think that was number 15, Eric Miranda.
Yes, it was. And Eric Miranda was all over that screenplay. One of the hardest plays to cover for a linebacker if your eyes get lost and they're in the wrong place. But he was disciplined and tackled for a gain of 2. Shotgun double set for Kaiser.
3rd down and 8. And a penalty marker thrown, and that's going to be a delay of – oh, it looks like a false start called against the Mustangs, and that's not going to help them as it pushes them back 5 yards. So far this season, Stockdale last week lost to Liberty 38-13, and not a great loss. 2 weeks ago, beat Centennial, though, right here in a last-minute drive to win that game. Gradowitz was key to that. And then lost 3 weeks ago. They beat BHS. Didn't lose, they won. They beat BHS 3 weeks ago.
Very up and down season for the Stockdale Mustangs.
That's right.
Larsul with a gain of about 7.
And now they have a 4th down, and they're just going to let this chop away, and we're going to go to half.
But that will tick the clock down to the end of the first half.
And that's the end of the first half. The score, the Stockdale Mustangs 2, the Frontier Titans 7. We'll be back in just a few minutes with halftime presentation of the Stockdale Mustang Marching Band. Welcome back in on the broadcast. So as they set up, of course, you know, we love being part of
good evening,
the
ladies
broadcast
and
all this.
Please welcome to the field for your halftime entertainment tonight, the 200 members
of the Stockdale High School Silver Mustang Band and Color Guard. Tonight is a special night for it's our seniors' last scheduled league home game and halftime show. We'd like to recognize all 48 of them for their 4 years of hard work and dedication. As we read their names, please hold your applause until the end.
So once again, it's senior night here at Stockdale High School. So before they actually start their presentation of this year's exhibition, they're going to actually introduce all of the seniors for this year. So we're going to go ahead and just step away and let you guys listen in and celebrate the Stockdale Marching Band, and they'll be playing here pretty soon. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my little brother-in-law, Liam Jenkins, who is part of the Stockdale Marching Band, and I'm really proud of him. And, of course, I hope my wife at home, who is his sister, is proud of him as well. And so we'll step away and let you guys listen as they introduce the seniors for the Stockdale Marching Band.
Brandon Rashier. Amanda Carricker, Haley Champlin, Michael Delacruz, Blake Edwards, Daniqua Ellis, Elise Esquibel, Angel Fabian, Joshua Garcia,
Jake Gonzalez, Sarah Gowdy, Enrique Gutierrez, Sarah Gutierrez, Lauren Hawkins, Liam Jenkins, Peter Kim, Isabel Machuca, Chuck Mbagwu, Tony McCarthy, Spencer Marin, Minerva Moe, Jackson Napier, Yachan Oak, James Olson, Savannah Pappy, Eric Ramirez, Francisco Paco Rincon, Stephanie Romero, Nora Scully, Harmony Smith, Kate Stambrook, Caitlin Valdez, Brooke Wyatt, Jessica Zendate Martinez. And now the color guard seniors, Jacqueline Henderson, Courtney Amura, Sydney Milton, Imogene Munoz, Aubrey Petrus, Kylie Schellenberger, and Mercedes Zamora. Let's give all the band and color guard seniors a big round of applause. And now, under field direction of drum majors Jake Gonzalez and Mackenzie Meyer, we present to you the sights and sounds of the Silver Mustang Band and color guard as they perform the 2019 field show, The Avengers.
Also come great responsibility.
The Stockdale High School Silver Mustang Band and Color Guard doing their presentation for 2019, the Avengers. We'll be back with third quarter right after this.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile. And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your favorite. If you want great pizza, you can play the numbers game, or you can get it right the first time. Tony's Pizza, 3 locations in Bakersfield and 1 in Shafter.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
I'm a millennial, and for me, it's all about the mobile. And I'm somewhere in between. I still do my banking online and at the ATM. And with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs nationwide, Kern Schools is always close by.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County. Kern Schools, together we have something special. One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I'm a traditional banker. I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
As a millennial, for me, it's all about the mobile.
And I'm somewhere in between. I still do everything online or through an ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. That's why we're the #1 financial institution in all of Kern County.
Take advantage of our low mortgage rates, including 60-day rate lock at no cost to you. Purchase or refinance your home today.
Kern Schools, together we have something special.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit. After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
A lot of more hands-on activities, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like doors, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, it's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide, use that flex fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network, live exclusive streaming sports of Kern High School football right here in Frontier, taking on the Stockdale Mustangs at Stockdale High School. Joining you for the second half, once again, this is Tom Myers, joined by Kenny Calvin, Julian Wilson on the broadcast with us this evening, running our production and camera duties. Frontier leads 7-2 at the beginning of the third quarter. And the Titans receive the ball first in the second half. And they'll start now from the 24-yard line. Kenny, kind of an unexpected twist of events right there toward the end of the second half, or first half.
Definitely not what we expected from two teams that can very well move the ball offensively. It's been a defensive struggle, and the team that made the least mistakes is leading right now.
That's right. So Cheveria handing it off, and that's going to be Caden Hernandez, and he's around the side and turns on the afterburner, and he's going to pick up 15 yards on the play. One of the best runs I've seen out of Caden all season long.
Absolutely, and it's a bright spot for Frontier being able to move the football after a somewhat stagnant first half.
And especially being able to get around the ends, because Stockdale really had sealed those ends and really showed a lot of speed, and Frontier couldn't overcome that going around the end in the first half.
Absolutely. The defensive line of Stockdale was the highlight of the first half. Frontier, fortunately, leading 7-2.
So Israel Cheveria back in at quarterback for the start of the second half here. And that's a counter and a handoff. And Caden Hernandez brought down in the backfield, and a big tackle there. That's number 64, James Lucio. And we knew we were going to talk about him at some point. James Lucio, 6'1", 235.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you, right on time, too, because we just talked about the activeness of the defensive line in that front eight of the Stockdale defense.
Doing a great job of stacking the box in the first quarter. Then the second quarter, they got a little bit loose as the Frontier Titans started to go to the air a little bit. So now a loss of 5 yards on the play, and Frontier backed up just a bit after that nice gain.
Flag on the play.
Now we got another procedure penalty.
False start called against the Titans, so that'll be 5 more. Now it's going to be 2nd and 20.
And we just talked about the team that made the least mistakes has the lead. Now it looks like they're willing to get even, and you don't want to just punt the football right back to a team that you shouldn't be beating right now.
10:28 left to go here in the third quarter. Titans lead 7-2. 2nd and 20 from the 31-yard line. Cheveria from the shotgun, and he's going to fake the handoff and drop back, and he's going to throw deep, and he's got a receiver, and he's got him, number 9. Big pass there, Jaden Smith. No penalty flags down, and a huge pickup on the play there.
An amazing route by Jaden Smith, running the corner route from the slot position. And I talked about the importance of taking advantage of the matchups you have in the secondary. You have the matchups you want on the outside. You don't have the matchups you want on the inside because your offensive line isn't what they want to be from a run perspective. You have to exploit the matchups you have. That time they did. 1st and 10, Frontier.
So 35-yard pickup on the play, and the Titans now pressing at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Cheveria wants the lone quarterback with one running back set in the backfield with him, and that's Reese Greer. And Greer's is going to cut back into the middle, and he's going to pick up about 7 yards on the play there.
Great job by Greer, sticking his foot in the ground and getting upfield. Yes, it's a zone run play, and you can stretch it as far as you want to stretch it. But when you see the hole that's open, you have to stick your foot in the ground and get upfield. Great job, 7-yard gain.
Yeah, I was way off on that one. It was 4. From where he was standing, it looked like he had picked up 7, but he was still in the backfield at the point when he cut upfield. So
absolutely.
7 yards after he had cut to his right and headed upfield. Great job of getting out of the backfield and getting positive yardage on that play. So here we go once again. Greer once again on the handoff. And again, a nice cutback, and he's going to pick up the first down.
Yeah, and I'm glad you highlighted that. 7 yards from where he got the football. But as you see, once again, once he sees the hole, he's sticking his foot in the ground, he's getting upfield, and it's turning into 4 yards in a cloud of dust.
At the 24 of Stockdale.
Reese Greer, all of about 5'7", about 180, 175 pounds. A sophomore, has a little more growing to do, but he's super speedy.
Well, hey, that name, Reese Greer, is a football name if I ever heard one, because once upon a time, there was a guy named Rosie Greer.
That's correct. So here we go. And again, a handoff. And big penetration by the Mustang defense getting into the backfield there. That's number 9. Michael Gabaldon, and we've talked about Gabaldon being in the backfield before. That's the second time he's gotten back there, tackle for loss.
Absolutely, and we talked about the reason he had that C on his chest as well. He's doing a great job flying around. Stockdale does a great job creating lanes for their blitzers. We saw that huge impact play earlier in the half where their middle linebackers blitz. They do a great job delaying on their blitzes.
The Titans were having a little bit of luck getting around the ends earlier in the drive, and now those ends seem to have been sealed. So Greer, once again, the lone back, and he's going to be in the block. And, of course, he goes out for a pass out there in the flat, and it's off his hands and out of bounds.
Yeah, and without that pressure, he would have had a little bit more time to catch number 46, Riley Hernandez, on that crossing route, and I know that's what they wanted, but just not the protection to get it off. 7:32 remaining to play in the third quarter. Mustangs trailing 7-2, Titan Tom.
The clock is stopped, and the Titans right now facing 3rd down and 14. Cheveria kind of hurrying up that pass, and like you said, didn't really fully, he kind of had his receiver already set who his number one was going to be in Greer.
Yeah, and that's where you got to progressively look through those progressions. Something that Pluggy might do a little bit better. And that's the tough thing about having that rotating quarterback situation.
And Frontier calling a timeout. What I really want to see is I want to see Cheveria take off again like he did on that one play where honestly, they had him coming. But this might be a better opportunity to run a play like that because they're not going to put all their eggs in one basket trying to sack you in the end zone like they did back earlier.
Absolutely. That's a great insight right there, Tom. And now we got, you got a Stockdale team. Their backs against the wall. They know how important it is to get this stop if they can. But you have a 3rd and long for Frontier. They haven't been very consistent throwing the football. If you're Stockdale, you got to like where you are in this position. Anxious to see what formation Frontier is going to come out and what quarterback is going to come out.
So here we are once again, the third quarter. Our broadcast this evening brought to you by Bakersfield College, Motor City, and Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. Thank you for your support of our students in the district. So 3rd down and 14, Cheveria back to pass, looks to his right and rolls to his right and throws deep down the field.
Oh,
and that's caught for a touchdown. Still waiting for the signal. And it is a touchdown. That's number 9. Jaden Smith, 2 big catch plays on that drive. And Titans now up 13-2.
We talked about the importance of exploiting the matchups you have. And right there, you go to the biggest weapon you have. Jaden got away with a little bit of a push on the backside, but that was a very well-thrown ball by Cheveria to get it to where only his receiver can get it.
For a second there, I thought it was going to be an interception.
Definitely.
It was pretty close. He didn't quite get turned around soon enough, and the ball was there. So now, on for the extra point, number 11, Daniel Foster. And that one is going to be up and good. 7:23 to go here in the third quarter. It's the Titans 14, the Mustangs 2.
Well, Titans, wow. You may have brought a little bit of luck with you across that West Side Parkway, but more than anything, we talked about the ball that Cheveria threw. It looked like it was going to be picked. However, Jaden Smith, such a crafty veteran, gave that last-second short arm push. He didn't extend the arm, though, which was smart. Because if you extend the arm, that's when the flag is coming out. But he basically gave him that little baby tap just to get him off of him. Right over his head, touchdown, back shoulder throw by Cheveria.
And I am surprised. Kenny may not be surprised. I'm surprised the penalty marker wasn't thrown on that one.
I'm definitely not surprised it wasn't thrown because DBs don't get the benefit of the doubt. But it's about the veteran nuances when you got players that know how to get away with things. My uncle Manuel Calvin, he was a basketball legend. And he would take me out into the post, and he would grab my shirt and keep me down. It's just the subtle things that true legends know how to get away with.
And there's a smart play over there on the far side, and that was number 1, Lauren Johnson. He had the chance to pick it up right there at the 29-yard line. Instead, let it roll out of bounds, and they're going to have the ball now at the 35.
Very, very slow roll as well.
Myers is live tonight streaming the game of the week. Go to Kern.network.com.
But the beautiful thing about this opportunity for Stockdale, this is a character drive for them. You're down on senior night, 12 points. Your big gun is hurt. From a coaching perspective, what are you going to do to put your players in a position to win?
That's right. So now, Kaiser going to go back to work. triple set receivers down here on the near side. Single back in the backfield with him, and he's going to drop back to pass.
Woo! They were bringing some pressure right there.
Frontier was coming, but a penalty marker is thrown, and that's going to be a false start called against the Mustangs.
Oh, yeah, because he was nervous.
Legal procedure
Once
Stockdale first.
you had a 30-odd set, and what Frontier did, which was great, they took a little bit of Stockdale's mojo and delayed blitz off the edge, which caused that confusion.
Well, Frontier was bringing Jake Andrews, Meyer Simmons, and Riley Hernandez all at the same time, and combined, those guys weigh about 500 pounds.
Absolutely.
Actually, quite a bit more than that. They're almost 700 or 800 pounds combined between the three of them.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a fake handoff and a slant, and guess what? Finally, we see Gradowitz at the slant across the middle, and boy, what a huge pickup, but a penalty marker back down at the 33-yard line.
Eligible receiver downfield.
No.
That quick?
Fine play, completion, Kaiser to Gradowitz.
And wow, that is a surprise.
I don't see the Stockdale coaches going crazy right now, but how fast does a lineman get downfield on a quick slant? That was a laser.
We barely had a chance to look up
1st and 20.
before that thing left his hand, and Gradowitz was just gone. And a great job by a saving tackle by the secondary of Frontier, or he was off to the races to score really quick.
I don't understand how you had time to see a receiver downfield or a lineman downfield.
And right there, 26 is wide open in the middle of the field, and I don't know where that's going, but that's going to be a penalty on Frontier now. And that's going to be, that's a big mistake by Frontier. Riley Hernandez decked the quarterback,
personal foul,
roughing the passer. Oh, no.
Talking about giving it back. They're going to get that 15 yards right back that they lost off the Gradowitz slant.
Wow, a big mistake by Frontier there.
Wow.
You know, that's what you see in some of these games. You get a little bit of confidence and you start doing things sometimes that you would kind of hold up when you wouldn't, and then look what happens.
Absolutely. You're a Frontier team. You've been playing a clean football game. Now you're up 12 points, and you get out of character.
And we haven't seen a lot of penalties on Frontier tonight, which is honestly uncharacteristic of Frontier. They have been known to be a little penalty riddled at times. So now, and Hernandez goes to reach to block it and just miss it. And look at Gradowitz just dodging and ducking and everything. And the ball came out, and the Titans got it.
Wow.
The Titans got it. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Frontier takes over at their
Can't fault Gradowitz trying to do the best he can. He shook about 9 guys. But in the end, Frontier didn't give up and knocked it out.
And Kenny, during your career, how often did you see that guy trying to get those few extra yards and the ball starts to get a little bit crazy, and the next thing it pops out and he turns it over?
Oh, and it's heartbreaking for a player like Gradowitz, who you want to be that guy.
And we've been waiting to see him all night long, and we've seen him in the last couple of plays.
Wow.
All of a sudden electrifying this offense for the Mustangs, and then turns it over, and wow, what a turn of events here.
Wow.
And now Cheveria back in, and he's got Hernandez in the backfield.
They go with that
and there's a hand out to Hernandez, and he's going to try and get around the end, and doesn't. And he's going to be lucky if he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Guess who? Jose Saints.
Of course, signs once again. And he had a little bit of help from Darius Larsoul as well.
Man, Jose Saints is putting in work on the defensive side of football for Stockdale.
And the Titans really, we had this discussion, we're getting around the end for a little while, but now that's kind of stalled out again. And Stockdale doing a good job of sealing those ends.
Yes, they are. Frontier spread pistol formation.
So 2nd down and 10 still. And Cheverie looks to his left as he drops back to pass and throws. And over there's a penalty marker. That's going to be pass interference. And that was number 17 in defense, Zeke Armijo over there, who had a hold of Hudson.
Yeah, it's either going to be PI or a holding call. And that is PI.
They're calling a pass interference call. And it looked more like a holding call, though. The difference is if the ball's in the air compared to if it's not in the air, and it was in the air, so that's a pass interference.
Lace them. Oh, and if you're Stockdale, how frustrated are you at this moment? You had so many opportunities. You get the call that you want from the roughing the passer, and the next play, fumble, turnover.
After a big gain, too. I mean, the play was not over, but he had picked up plenty of yards.
Yes, he definitely had a first down.
So now Frontier threatening once again inside the 40-yard line at the 38. 6:01 on the clock here in the third quarter. The Titans lead 14-2.
And I expect them to be smart about their offensive approach and run the football with this 2-touchdown lead midway through the third quarter.
And there's a handoff up the gut to number 25, Caden Hernandez. And he gets a little bit hot for a second there, but then holds up like he should. On the tackle, that was number 4, Elijah Hudson on the defense.
And Caden Hernandez better do a good job keeping that ball protected, because right there he had about 5 guys on him and still running with the football out loose away from his body.
Hernandez, a good running back, has coughed up the ball a couple times this season. And as you try to fight for those extra yards, you know how that goes. Look what just happened with Gradowitz. So, of course, the Titans making a kind of an odd decision to go inside on this one. And I'm not going to question Chris Spandy, because then he'll probably call me on it on Monday. But
oh, nice
so
play
Chevrolet
call.
now rolling out, and he's got a receiver in Hudson right there. Hudson sheds one tackler and
like
drags
Smith.
another one, and he's all the way down to the 30-yard line for a pickup of 8 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 2.
And one thing that's confusing us, Tom, is the fact that they've taken Jaden Smith from the outside and moved him to that extra tight end, and they're running him on those shallow crossing routes. He gets 7 on that.
Another shout out to the band.
So now the Titans probably closer to a 3rd and 3 than a 3rd and 2 at the 31-yard line. 4:38, the clock is running here in the third quarter. Titans ahead once again 14-2. Triple back set. And Chevrolet under center. And there's a sweep.
Ooh.
And again, a big tackle.
Boy, is that.
And that was Reese Greer on the carry.
Oh, whoa.
But that was number 9, Michael Gabaldon, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And Gabaldon came up and put the big hit, and that's a loss of 1 on the play, and that's going to bring up 4th down for Frontier. And Frontier, surprisingly, in the second quarter, not very many 4th down plays for them. So this is a little bit of new territory for them as well.
Absolutely. They had the 1 4th down that they went for early and didn't get. And right now you're in kind of no man's land, so you're going to go shotgun double set. But like I said before, I like the matchup of Smith on anybody. And right now he's double teamed. And they're still looking at him.
Well, and that pass threaded the needle, and it's caught. On the reception, that's number 4, Jaden Hudson with the catch.
Nice job by Hudson on the quick slant route, but how about that laser of a throw?
Chevrolet really throwing it in there, and great coverage by Darius Larsul on that play. Really not much you could do.
Amazing coverage. Only thing you can do in that situation is have better alignment pre-snap. When you're going in man coverage, you want to honor the inside routes, because outside routes are harder to throw.
1st and 10 Frontier at the 24-yard line.
Jaden Smith, the leader, getting his guys lined up. I like that. Spread formation.
So Smith down here on the near side, Hudson up on the far side. Chevrolet running into a little trouble and trying to get out of it. And he's going to get sacked for a loss in the backfield.
Yeah, and they were going for Smith one more time. But just a great job by the pressure of Stockdale's defensive front 8. They're doing a great job trying to do the best they can. They're trailing in this football game, but they played a fantastic first 3 quarters.
Yeah, Gabaldon in on the tackle on that one again. So he's definitely bringing some defense to the table for the Stockdale Mustangs.
Doing the best they can. 2nd and 12 for Frontier, heading south.
2nd and 12 from the 26 of Stockdale.
So Reese Greer in the backfield right now. Riley Hernandez down there on the near side here, lined up right next. He's going to go out for a pass, and he's wide open.
Oh, got him.
And here he goes, galloping and off to the races, and he's going to get dragged down.
With the tackle.
And a big hit over there, and Garcia Hernandez is down.
That was late, wasn't it?
He was already on the ground when he got drilled.
I turned away to look at you after the tackle, and there was extra contact.
That was a little bit late coverage, or a little bit late tackle on that play, and he's going to come out of the game. He got hit square on the helmet, and I'm just hoping that he can shake that one off. That was a bad hit.
And that's where, I definitely don't like seeing laundry on the field, but as officials, you have to protect players who are on the ground already getting hit late.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
It's unacceptable.
So the Titans now 3rd down and 5. They're at the 19-yard line.
Timeout.
And Chris Bandy wants to have a conversation, so he's going to call a timeout. 1:33 left in the clock here in the third quarter. 14-2, the Titans lead. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we're back here on the broadcast, and of course tonight, kind of a little bit crazy because we're up above the black hole for the Stockdale Mustangs, and these guys are fantastic.
Man, they are representing.
They are representing very well, and of course I spotted a couple of kids I know, Brooklyn Jackson from the volleyball team for Stockdale down there. Of course, great performance last week against Frontier. Fantastic. And, of course, now Stockdale wants to call a timeout and think it over.
Well, since we got a timeout.
And, of course, one of our Frontier own, Erin Taylor, she's over here, so she's on this side. I don't know why she thinks it's not her. So
she's asking you, why are you on this side?
Yeah.
Tell her I'm working.
So I'm doing the broadcast up here tonight for the Kern High Network. So if she tunes in, maybe later on she'll hear her name called. Erin Taylor, a volleyball player at Frontier High School as well. So, once again, 1:33 to go. Frontier pressing a little bit. One step forward, a step back, 2 steps forward, a step back, kind of inching their way down the field and running time off the clock.
Well, since we had 2 timeouts by both teams, I wanted to talk about Frontier and Stockdale connections. I come up to the booth today and see one of my favorite teammates in the world, Jesse McNaughton.
Jesse McNaughton, whose son Luke plays for our JV squad, and he's going to be one we're going to be talking about on Friday nights next year.
Absolutely.
A lot.
Yeah, I want to touch on that a little later.
Absolutely. So now the Titans 3rd and 5. Chavarria drops back passes, and he's got an open receiver. And that's Kevin Hughes,
Whoa.
and now that's not what you want to see.
And that's
no.
Hughes upset. He got slammed in the course of play and got up. Not liking that.
And
But
so
he was
penalty
taken
marker
down.
thrown, and that may not be good for Kevin Hughes because that could result in an ejection.
It definitely should be an ejection. You definitely don't wish that happens, but what happened on that play, the defender was right there, and just from the weight and momentum, slammed him, which could be a penalty in most instances.
They
but it was
they can call that a penalty as well.
Yeah, it could be a penalty, but it was in the course of action.
Sure.
Wasn't blatant.
And in the heat of the game, we know how things go. And so now we're going to see what the call is. So personal foul is going to be called on Frontier.
And that's it.
And that's pretty much going to be it. And he is ejected from the game.
That is a personal foul being
And you got
assessed on
Coach Bandy is upset because his player was slammed down, but it was in the course of action. And I'm one of those old school defensive players. I don't like to see a lot of penalties called on course of action plays. But I can understand why Coach Bandy is upset because 9 times out of 10, that's a penalty.
And the thing is, if you're picking a guy up off the ground to put him down, then you're doing that on purpose. That is an intentional move, which you and I both know. That's where you get into the trouble is the intentional move.
Yes.
If it's an unintentional move but when you're picking somebody up, you're intending to pick them up and slam them to the ground. That is intentional.
Yes.
And those are the kind of penalties. Once again, we talked about protecting players.
Yes.
So now it's 2 plays in a row now, and I don't want to speak ill of Stockdale, but it's 2 plays in a row now where it could go either way.
Absolutely.
But they're in dangerous territory. If they continue this, they're going to get the flags thrown on them.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head.
Because they're getting beaten, and you know how that goes. When you start to get beat, you start to play a different way.
Out of anger.
You start to play out of anger instead of playing out of competitiveness.
Yes.
So I think that's really what Stockdale has to be careful of here, is that they don't end up kind of getting that going. And then Frontier has to be careful because retribution is a real thing in high school football, and that gets teams in trouble. Meyer Simmons a couple weeks ago got ejected from a game as well for putting a hit on a kid, and it was a little bit late, and they ejected him, and then he missed all last week. So, we're trying to make sure that everybody's playing in the competitive sport of the game and not the other way around. And that's actually nice little, I would say, back shoulder throw, but maybe back ankle throw because it was short by Chavarria.
Yeah,
and now it's going to bring up fourth down for Frontier.
And just to highlight this real quick as well.
I stand corrected, hold on a minute. That's a turnover. That was fourth down, so now Stockdale has the ball.
Yeah, turnover on downs. Unfortunate for Frontier. They were moving the ball pretty well. But like you said, in a game like this, when you're leading, you also have to be careful that you don't get too big-headed and think that the mistakes that are made can't cost your football team, because now you got a player that's ejected in the second half of a football game that you're leading. And if you're Stockdale, you definitely have to be worried about not losing your cool, because there's still a lot of football left to be played.
Well, the sad part of it all, he's going to miss his final game of his high school career. Regular season game. Titans will probably go to the playoffs at some point. And there's a nice pass out here to this side to big number 88.
Larry Brown.
And oh boy, feed it to him and just let him rumble down the field.
Well, his grandpa was one of my buddies. When I went down for a drink, he said, look out for 88, Kenny Cal.
Larry Brown, all of 6'4", 215 pounds, and it took about 5 guys to drag him down.
Yes, it did. And last thought on the penalty, as we know, the second guy always gets caught.
Yes.
Got to be careful.
Yeah, except they saw both people do what they did on that one. And there's a nice handoff up the middle. That's number 4, Elijah Hudson.
And now we're getting
and
frisky out there.
A little extracurricular activity going on now.
First down, Stockdale.
Okay, now there's a little bit of confusion on my end. I thought that was an ejection called on Kevin Hughes, but Kevin Hughes is standing at the 47-yard line. So maybe Mark Roberts, the official, did not signal an ejection on that.
Okay. Well, that's good to see, because I don't think he
So we stand corrected. I thought that was an ejection, so I was incorrect. And right there, Gradowitz, and he's sneaky, and he's slippery.
Gain of about 6 more.
Nice reception by Gradowitz. Good throw by Kaiser, and that's the end of the third quarter. The score, the Frontier Titans 14, the Stockdale Mustangs 2.
So while your financial life may start out with a
Second and 5.
And we're back for the fourth quarter. Titans lead still 14-2. Second down and 5 for Stockdale from their own 48-yard line. And there's a handoff up the middle. On the carry there, number 10, Darius Larsul, and a big pickup for a first down all the way down to the 40-yard line for Stockdale.
Darius Larsul has been a fantastic addition to this Stockdale offense. They haven't done much offensively, but he's been a key factor in getting first downs for their offense.
Hey, fans, the other game of the week is West High and Golden Valley. Vance Palm on the announcement of that one over at Golden Valley tonight. West in the lead, 6:30 to go, and it's 21-20 West High. So Kaiser rolling, and Gradowitz once again with the quick step and pushed out of bounds. Luckily caught, and he was caught by number 2, Jalen Stevens, and pushed out of bounds.
And that was a situation right there where Kaiser had a pocket, but he didn't trust his lineman and rolls out right. Luckily, Gradowitz makes the move. But if Kaiser, as he gets more mature, he steps into the pocket, he gives himself more time. Trips open set for Stockdale
so
against
right now,
30 even front.
Yeah, and Frontier's going to have to do something about getting a little more pressure on Kaiser. And there's a nice stutter step left and right, and that's a handoff to number 10, Darius Larsul. Larsul gets the first down. And now Stockdale pushing, knocking on the door once again.
LaSule's averaging about 6 yards per carry tonight. They haven't done well in the red zone, but from 20 to 20, they're moving the football very well with number 10 in the backfield.
And right now, not any penalties, so that's really helping out the Stockdale offense right now. So Kaiser now back to pass, and that one not really looked for. It was a nice screen, and of course, Kaiser went down. Lucky that they didn't get caught with roughing the passer on that one. Larsoul wasn't even looking for the ball. Hit him right in the face mask.
Yeah, the little timing issues when you got guys that aren't used to getting the reps. Screens, quick screens, or timing plays, you have to be on the same accord, and they weren't.
How about when you have all of 6-foot-tall Jalen Stevens in your face coming at you?
Ooh.
And I'm sure that's a little bit unnerving. And there's a handoff to Larsoul. And now he's around the end, and he's all the way up to the 20. Well, past the 20, all the way down to the 13-yard line.
Boy, I'll tell you, if you haven't seen Larsoul play, he's putting in work for Stockdale right now. He may be up to about 60 to 80 yards right now.
I'll say one thing. Oh, there's a penalty marker, though. We just got done talking about this all the way back at the 27-yard line, and I'm betting that's a holding penalty called against Stockdale.
Yeah, and usually when you got shifty runners, it leads to offensive linemen not knowing which way they're going and holding. And Larsoul's pretty shifty back there.
And the mistakes that we talked about that they didn't want to have happen reared its ugly head at probably the most inopportune moment. They were all the way down to the 13-yard line, and now they're pushed all the way back to the 37.
Yes.
So Kaiser looks to his left, and he's going to throw out there in the flat. And there's going to be, oh, no.
Another flag on the play.
That might be an illegal block below the waist.
Well, yeah, personal foul. And that's going to be a block, and you can see Meyer Simmons getting up slowly. He got chop blocked out there on the end, and he's kind of walking around a little gingerly trying to shake that one off. He's coming out, and coming in for him, that's going to be big number 59, Jake Andrews.
Well, one thing I never had sympathy for were offensive linemen and tight end cut blocking, because that ended my football career when I got cut blocked by a tight end.
Wow, I'll tell you what. So now Stockdale really on the bad end of it, and they're getting moved back. One thing that I noticed about Frontier, and I noticed earlier down here at the 13, when Darius Larsoul got run out of bounds, he was run out of bounds by number 10, Byron Floyd, and Floyd actually laid up. He could have shoved him into the track and didn't, and that was probably one of the smartest plays of a Frontier Titan this evening in not giving them that penalty.
Well, think about what we just talked about. Mistake-free football wins football games. Stockdale was inside of the 25, and now they're all the way backed up on the other side of the field.
Not only inside the 25, inside the 15. And look at this. Aired out, and he's going to be out of bounds. Good defense by the Titans, and that's Byron Floyd once again. That pass was intended for Lauren Johnson, number 1 of the Stockdale Mustangs. So now it's going to be third down, and I don't want to calculate this, but my curiosity is just getting the better of me, so I'm going to. 10, 20, 30. Third down and 40 yards for the Mustangs, all the way back at the 42-yard line.
Usually if you're in third down and 40, that means you're not playing mistake-free football. I mean, I remember we had a South High game where we had to pull out the calculator to figure out how long it was. It was like 3rd and 60.
Yeah, you and I had a couple of South High games this year that were a little bit rough. And there's Meyer Simmons, and there's a penalty marker because he put the hand right into the face of the quarterback on that one, and that's unnecessary.
And that's just frustration because you were just cut blocked, and you think you want to get away with something, and you slap the quarterback in the face right in front of the white hat.
And a big mistake because that's a first down.
Then it's a first down on 3rd and 40. Talk about letting the football team back into the football game.
Kaiser hit
all right, so let's talk about it. Meyer Simmons, a couple of plays ago, was a victim of an illegal chop block by one of the linemen. So he's frustrated, bearing down pressure a couple of plays later, and roughs the passer.
Not smart. Not smart at all. And so now, and there's another penalty marker that's going to be down on the play. That's a handoff to number 10, Darius Larsoul. We'll see what the call is here. And we've been seeing penalty markers the last 5 plays in a row. And so that's going to be holding against Stockdale.
We might have to spend the night. This keep up. 9:58 remaining to play in the fourth quarter.
And we've been in the fourth quarter for 20 minutes.
Wow.
We've only seen 2 minutes go off the clock in this entire 20 minutes of play because of all the penalties in this game. So this one's starting to get a little sloppy.
And it's about character. You know, right now I would expect both coaches to call a timeout and just talk to the guys about where you are in this football game. Frontier, you're leading with the snap to Kaiser. He's rolling right.
And he's got a little bit of room, and he's going to wisely step out of bounds as Jaden Smith was bearing down on him.
15 or 16 from the 40.
But, Tom, getting back to the point I was trying to make, Frontier, you're up 12 points. You shouldn't be. You're the underdog. And now you're playing out of character on a team that still has potential to come back.
That's correct. So second down and 17, more like second down and 18 from the 48-yard line. Stockdale with the ball. 9:37 to go here in the fourth quarter. Titans leading 14-2. And just a crazy turn of events and penalties the last few plays. So now Kaiser, he's going to let one go, and that's just aired out.
It's caught.
And Gradowitz, he catches it, and then he falls out of bounds right there.
Ooh.
And a first down now inside the 30-yard line for the Mustangs. What a play.
The one thing I saw last week when Stockdale was down 3 touchdowns plus, it was the heart of Kaiser and Gradowitz that continued to play and put them on the board to where they didn't get shut out.
Well, we didn't talk about Gradowitz much in the first half, but really he's been a conversation starter here in the second. So now, nice handoff to Larsoul, and it looked like he almost let go of the ball for a second there and got it back. But a nice pickup on the play of a couple of yards.
Well, Titan Tom, I think he might have just been scared of Myers Simmons.
Myers Simmons bearing down on him.
Myers is out for blood right now.
Yeah, he kind of is. So now 9:08 and counting on the clock. The Mustangs need 2 scores in order to get this thing back to even. But the one thing you don't want to see is the Titans come in and go conservative and then end up having to give the ball back and give Stockdale another chance to come down and score like they did against Centennial. And the ball almost disrupted there. And that's going to be – wow. Byron Floyd dragged down number 14, Jaden Hollis, before the ball even got there. And a huge pass interference play on that one, and that's going to be an automatic first down for Stockdale. Wow.
Jaden Hollis, the son of the local rapper Money the Man Hollis. I know Dad ain't happy about how his son got tackled right there.
Well,
that could have been a huge
That could have been a
injury.
touchdown, actually.
It could have been a touchdown. Also could have been an injury.
That's true. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty and move the Mustangs down inside the 15-yard line all the way to the 13.
Hey, as a former DB, I got to like it. You beat. Don't give up.
So once again, a handoff inside, and the Titans can't seem to stop that. I think that was to number 4, Elijah Hudson, and it was. And he's all the way down to the 3-yard line, and now Stockdale going hurry up, and Frontier trying to get personnel in and out of the game. And a run in the middle, and a nice drag down from behind.
Second and goal.
Nice job by the defensive lineman.
And that was number 33, J.D. Cueva on the tackle there. Got around the end and actually pulled him down from behind. No gain on the play. Smart play.
Touchdown saving tackle.
That's right. So now the Titans a little bit on their heels. Second down and goal for the Mustangs from the 3-yard line. And 8:04 on the clock and counting. Stockdale really needs to get a touchdown here to keep this game in perspective. So right there, another good defensive stand by the Titans. That was number 4, Elijah Hudson on the carry. And he didn't get anything on that play, and now it's going to be third down.
How about the Frontier defensive line back against the wall? Show me what you got.
Well, right now, they've got Meyer Simmons in there. They got Riley Hernandez, and they got number 70, Tyson Welch. Welch also.
And they go. And it's incomplete.
Good.
It's incomplete.
And Gradowitz dropped the ball uncharacteristically.
Wow.
And now it's fourth down for Stockdale.
He had it.
It was good defense by Frontier to disrupt it a little bit, but that was a catchable ball, and it just popped out.
Now it's fourth down.
4th and goal Mustangs from the 3-yard line.
4th and goal Mustangs. Huge opportunity for Frontier to bow up and keep them out of the end zone.
If Frontier gets a stop here, That's a huge accomplishment on the Titan defense. And now a bigger mistake by the Mustangs. Out of sync with the snap count and an offsides is going to push him back 5 yards.
We talked about coach killers. We call those penalties. And that's exactly what's happening to Stockdale and Brett Shelton, as they have an opportunity to score right now, and they're shooting themselves in the foot. 4th and goal from the 8. Kaiser flushed out of the pocket, rolls right, and it's picked off!
It is intercepted by 7, Kevin Hughes. A big play by Hughes over there. Holy cow. And the Mustangs are stalled out, and the Titans will have the ball with 7:20 left to go here in the 4th quarter.
I wish y'all could see my face right now, ladies and gentlemen, because what I just saw was a fired-up Titans defense back against the wall. All things going against them. 4 plays inside the 5-yard line. Bowled up. Great defense. Ooh, and I got goosebumps.
That's right. And now, hey, how about this? Look, big number 12, Travis Pluggy, back in the game now. 7:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. And I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be air it out time. Although, look, he's got I formation in the backfield, and he's under center. We don't see that often. And the Titans, they hand it off to the up back. Fullback number 25, Caden Hernandez on the carry, and he's going to pick up a yard or 2 on the play.
Titan time, call me greedy, but with that I formation, single receiver set with Jaden Smith out here one-on-one, I'm taking a shot.
Well, they may be drawing him in to do exactly that. 6:54 on the clock and counting.
And the reason why I say take a shot is the fact that when they had you down there earlier, it turned into a problem for you when you tried to run against that tough Stockdale defensive line. So, got to keep them off balance.
Stockdale defensive line, though, not quite what it was in the first quarter, where they were literally offensive line of Frontier.
There it is.
And that
it's picked off.
Is it intercepted? They're going to call that an interception. And Pluggy has thrown an interception.
Coming out of the end zone.
And the Mustangs have it. Intercepted by number 10, Darius Larsoul.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? I'm going to ask Stan Green to put an extra camera in here so he can see our facial expressions. Because I'm blown away from the fact that he had the matchup backside with Jaden Smith, and he goes front side where all the traffic is and throws it right into the arms of a Stockdale defender.
Well, I think that one was overthrown to his intended receiver as he was rolling.
Oh.
And so now Stockdale, 1st and 10, and a handoff to number 5, Jacob Jones.
Hey, Jacob said, I'm tired of sitting over here watching you guys not finish drives. Put me in, coach.
So what, the 4th or 5th running back that we've seen out of Stockdale this evening? A huge, running back core for the Mustangs, much the same as the Titan running back core.
Absolutely.
And so now Jones once again, and that offensive line getting a big push up in the front there. And he's going to be close to the first down, but not quite, so it's going to leave 3rd and 1 for the Mustangs.
Jacob Jones is my little cousin. Dean Jones is my uncle, the former Renegade, All-American, and USC Trojan. His son, Justin Jones, is the father of Jacob Jones. Though that is my family, I definitely questioned the decision to put him in with a cold, high ankle sprain now.
Ooh, yeah. And there's a pass out there to the near side. And that's going to be a first down. Great reception by number 16, Nathaniel Crum.
Shout out to the Crum family.
So now, once again, 5:32 on the clock. The Mustangs at the 6-yard line and knocking on the door here to try to get it within one score. So there's a handoff once again to Jones.
And the tough thing about, as we see,
and he's going to gain a yard and get the stop.
Jones wrapped up on that inside run. The tough thing that I'm trying to explain here is the fact that when you have a high ankle sprain, the best thing for an ankle sprain is to keep it warm and moving. Jacob's been on the sideline all game.
Jones once again on the carry, and Titans defense comes up big once again. And there's a pickup now of about a yard on that. And so the PA announcer said 3rd from the 2, but about the 4-yard line is what I'm looking at based on the official down here on the near side.
Absolutely.
So 3rd down now for the Mustangs. 4:37, and the clock is moving.
Oh! Oh, sack! Huge sack!
And Jalen
Amazing
Stevens
sack!
comes from behind and drags him down, and I almost thought it was going to get called as a horse collar or illegal helmet contact, and Kaiser goes down hard. Stevens came from around the end and gets the sack.
Wow.
And now it's 4th and goal with 4 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock as the Titans lead 14-2. And this kind of do or die, this is all the marbles for Stockdale. They really need to get in the end zone on this play. He's got a receiver wide open, nobody covering. And guess who that is? Jeremiah Gradowitz, touchdown, Mustangs.
Amazing route. He sold the post so well that when he broke to the post corner, he was wide open. Amazing throw and heart by Kaiser.
So here we are, 14-8 now.
We got a game.
On for the extra point.
We get some amazing games, man.
Jack Kaiser now on for the extra point. On to hold, number 14. And that's Jaden Hollis. And Hollis can't hold on to it. And look at this. And the extra point attempt is going to be no good. And it's 14-8.
Wow.
Frontier leading in the fourth quarter with 3:55 to go. Wow, what a contest so far. Hey, fans, we just want to be sure to give a special thanks to our Frontier High School staff, Principal Vicki Thompson, Assistant Principal of Instruction Brian Easter, Assistant Principal of Administration Mr. Aaron Mikatuk, Dean of Students Miss Jenny Mattern, Athletic Director Mike Gibson, and Lynette Cornford, our Activities Director. Of course, I am a Frontier Titans staff member and proud voice of the Frontier Titans Athletics, and really appreciate everything they do for our students and our staff. And what a fantastic group of leaders that we have over at Frontier High School. So big shout out to them. This game was in doubt, but it isn't right now, and it's still got a big question mark on it. Wow. And Stockdale made their chances look a heck of a lot better, Kenny.
Absolutely. They didn't give up. And that's one of the things that I highlighted about them last week when they were getting destroyed by a Liberty team. They continued to fight. They continued to finish.
So now we're going to look for the onside kick here, and that's what it's going to be. And it has gotten, smart move by Eric Miranda, number 15, gathering the ball before it got to the 10-yard mark. They couldn't touch him, and they couldn't touch the ball. And now the Titans have the ball at the 49-yard line.
And that's one of the toughest plays in football when you got a ball trickling in 1 yard short of that 10-yard mark. And he had hard enough to dive on it because if he waited one more step, they would have blasted him.
That's correct. So now the Titans with the ball at the Stockdale 49-yard line. 3:53 to go here in the fourth quarter. And 14-8 the lead by the Frontier Titans. So now here comes Cheveria. He's back in the game. In the backfield, Jacob Moon-Minivong, the running back that started out the game. We haven't seen him for quite a few series. So Moon-Minivong with the handoff, and he's around the edge and cut back up the middle. Oh, and he almost breaks free, gets through, and that's a pickup of about 8-9 yards on the play by Moon-Minivong.
One of the most explosive players we saw earlier this year is well rested, and you can tell on that play he almost broke it for a touchdown.
That's
one tackle
right.
away.
That's right. So a big pickup for the Titans, and the clock rolling right now. Looking over at the scoreboard, Stockdale has 2 timeouts left. Frontier only has 1. And 3:20 and counting here in the fourth quarter.
Wow, we got some scores coming in. 21-20 West. Starting the fourth quarter about 7 minutes ago.
And that score has not changed in quite a few number of series for them, I believe. So now the Titans handing it off to Caden Hernandez, number 25, and he breaks free.
He got the first down.
He's going to push forward for about 5 yards to get a first down for Frontier all the way up to the 36-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
So now we're under the 3-minute mark.
Gain of 7 and a first down.
And the Titans just seeming to literally obliterate that defensive line of Stockdale that was unmovable earlier in the game.
Well, I told you what I liked most about Frontier's football team is their offensive line, and they haven't disappointed. You know, it's not a huge, flashy game where you got all these huge runs, but they're doing a great job protecting the quarterback when they need to and creating lanes when they need to.
Well, look here, Riley Hernandez in the slot. And we'll see if they're going to do something with him. My guess is he's either going to push somebody out of the way or lead the way, and he kind of leads the opening to the hole there. But Hernandez brought down quickly, and no gain on the play. 2:14 left on the clock. Titans doing a great job of running down the time. And I'm waiting for Shelton to call a timeout here.
And right now, Titan Tom, since we got a little bit of time, I'm confused on who we're going to pick for the current high player of the game because everybody's playing well right now.
And right now, you're right. It is kind of a tough one. And, I mean, Julian Wilson, you're going to give us your take of the night. And coming up in just a few minutes, I can think of a number of different players. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Israel Cheveria. Done a great job. Number 9, Jaden Smith has done a great job. Caden Hernandez there around the right side. He's going to pick up 2 yards, and that's going to bring up third down. Eric Miranda's done a great job on defense. Myers Simmons has done a great job on defense and played both ways. So, you know, once again, Kevin Hughes. I mean,
huge play out of tons of people.
Jeremiah Gradowitz came on in the second half to really do something for Stockdale. Jack Kaiser has led the Stockdale Mustangs this entire game.
Man.
Win or lose, he's done a great job for the Mustangs.
Absolutely.
And, of course, you know, we couldn't, you know.
Eric Miranda was flying around earlier, too.
Darius Larsoul for the Mustangs. Jaden Hollis, Elijah Hudson, Lauren Johnson. I mean, man, it's been a veritable who's who of big plays tonight for both teams.
Absolutely.
So picking the player of the game, the Kern High Network player of the game, is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, this will be our toughest one.
Indeed, indeed. So once again, coming up at the conclusion of this game, myself, Kenny, and Julian will pick tonight's player of the game. So the Titans now 3rd down and 8 from the 34-yard line.
3rd and 8.
Caden Hernandez,
for the Mustangs.
the big running back in the backfield. Jaden Hudson split out to the far side. Cheveria back to pass, and he's looking deep, and he may have him. Oh! And it's in and out of the hands. He had the ball and dropped it. Hudson.
They went for the jugular right there.
And he knows he had it, and he let it go.
He had it. He went with the skinny post right there, one-on-one. You got the matchup you want after spreading them out from the tight end position. Nice throw by Cheveria.
And great job of Hudson getting the inside angle.
Absolutely.
So now the Titans are going to go ahead and go for it here.
Uh-oh. Now this is very interesting.
This is frightening.
Wow.
1:28. The clock has stopped. Stockdale has a timeout. Frontier has a timeout. 4th down and 8 for Frontier.
Now, if you know you're going to go for it now, I don't like the pass play prior.
And he's looking long again. What's that going to be? Oh, and again, it's in and out of the hands of Jaden Hudson, or Jaden Smith, excuse me.
Wow.
2 times in a row he's dropped the ball.
And how about that exceptional coverage by that DB being challenged back-to-back by one of the most explosive players in the city.
So now what are we seeing? Now we're seeing the same setup that we had for that Centennial Stockdale game 2 weeks ago. And if you remember what I remember, Stockdale threw a touchdown pass to this right corner over here to Jeremiah Gradowitz to win that game.
Uh-oh.
And now, of course, we're going back to it. And Kaiser, he's going to let that one go. But look here. Oh, great defense out there by Jaden Perez. Number 8, Perez, with a great job on defense there. And that one hung up there just a little bit too long, didn't it?
Right there, you're telegraphing where you want to go a little bit too much, buddy, and that can cost you. They got away with one right there because I almost ran downstairs on the ladder and could have picked that off. It was in the air so long. 2nd and 10 for Stockdale. Trips open set against a 3-deep look for Frontier.
Byron Floyd playing center field for the Titans. He's way deep. Kaiser rolling to his right, and he's going to throw across the middle. He's got
and it's dropped!
In and out of the hands of Lauren Johnson, and he knows
all
it.
Alone.
3rd and 10.
There was nobody anywhere near him, and he had the first down, and now that's going to bring up 3rd down and 10 with 1:10 left on the clock here.
Talk about counting your eggs before they hatch.
And I think he was looking to turn and run before the ball was finally all the way in.
Wow.
The classic mistake that we've been doing since we were playing Nerf ball as kids. Getting ready to go before you had it with you.
Absolutely.
And so now the Titans in a cover 4. And Kaiser back to pass. And Meyer Simmons on his hands and knees trying to get out of it.
Huge catch!
Granowitz with the leaping.
And Granowitz with the big catch and the big hit by number 8, Jaden Perez. Wow.
And what Frontier is saying that the ball came loose when he hit the ground. But I like what the officials are doing. They're giving him credit for the catch.
How
saying
about
that the ground can't
Granowitz?
cause a fumble.
How about Granowitz and holding on to that one, getting upended. And now out there, it's Granowitz once again. He's going to find his way out of bounds. And the clock is going to stop, 45 seconds.
Across midfield, we got a game on our hands, tight toe.
Wow.
Oh,
and
we got a penalty.
Now there's a penalty marker. And, of course, it's going to get thrown against Jalen Stevens of the Titans, and he's pointing at the player on Stockdale, and this could be a critical error by the Titans.
And what the error is, he's still frustrated on the fact that the officials missed the ball coming loose on that previous catch.
So after the play, unsportsmanlike against the Titans, that's a 15-yarder, and that's a huge mistake by Frontier.
Huge mistake by Frontier. You're up 6 points. A touchdown ties it. Extra point wins it. For Stockdale, you got to love everything that's happening right now.
And this is deja vu all over again. Stockdale driving late.
Wow. And now they got Jacob Jones back in there with Kaiser. Trips open set.
Kaiser, nobody's been getting pressure on him at all. He's had all the time in the world to sit back there and pass. And now he's going to roll to his right. He's going to run into a little bit of trouble. Oh no!
Oh, and Luke.
And the
He
ball.
loses the football. The ball was loose.
They're going to call that an incomplete pass because his arm was moving forward.
It definitely
there was a running back in front of him. That is that could have been the intended receiver, so no intentional grounding. But the clock will stop at 26 seconds, and they're going to get the ball all the way back up at the 31 when he was sacked all the way back at the 41 if he hadn't let it go.
He got lucky, Titan Tom, because
Yes,
his arm
he did.
was going forward, but it was about 5 bodies around him when it was going forward.
Wow. And talk about just an exciting turn of events going on here. 26 seconds left on the clock. The Titans lead 14-6. Second down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Kaiser back to pass. All the time in the world. And the Titans.
Oh, and it's caught.
It's caught.
Johnson across the 10.
And he's going to be run out of bounds.
Wow.
At the 5-yard line. And I don't believe it. We're seeing it again.
We're seeing it again. 15 seconds left to play. Ball inside the 5-yard line. Johnson getting a chance to make up for the drop. Woo!
First down, Stockdale.
Stockdale has the ball now at the 5-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
And a timeout is going to be called by the Mustangs.
Stockdale.
Wow.
And Kenny.
Wow.
I don't know what to say right now, but the Titan fans are stoic. There's no clapping. There's no nothing going over on that side of the field.
Well, I mean, it's tough because you have situations where you got uncharacteristic penalties. We talked about the importance of maintaining your character in these moments about 35 minutes ago. And here you have a situation where after a missed catch call, you got a player that felt like the official missed one. He goes into his face and says something and gets a 15-yarder that puts them in position to take this game away.
Well, in defense of him, I don't think he was going after the official. I think he was getting into it with the other guy on the offensive side of the ball.
Gotcha.
And then, as you said earlier, it's always the last guy that gets caught.
It's
and
always
that's probably
the
exactly
guy.
what happened.
Wow.
But that's when you got to maintain your composure because you have a lead. That was a huge 15-yard penalty, and they've literally in the last 2 plays put 45 yards into the books, and now they're at the 5-yard line with 15 seconds to go and a first down and goal. And Kaiser's going to drop back to pass, and that one's going to be thrown. And who's that?
And it's
dropped.
He dropped the ball. He dropped the football.
They're
that
going to
cannot
say
be a touchdown.
that Jeremiah Gradowitz
No
caught that
way.
ball.
That should be incomplete. They called that a touchdown, and it should be incomplete.
They call that a touchdown.
Wow.
Another gigantic touchdown drive.
Wow.
To tie the score with 10 seconds left.
to Gradowitz.
That is remarkable. And so now,
oh my goodness.
Kaiser to Gradowitz.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I was actually Snapchatting that play as it went. So if you're my Snap friend, go and review that. But what happened on the play, we got a corner route from the inside slot receiver, and as he catches the football, it immediately hits the ground and rolls. The ball comes out and squirts about 6 yards past him. Yet the official at the yard marker calls it as a touchdown. And you hear the boos, the chorus of boos is coming from the Frontier sideline because they're thinking exactly what I'm thinking. How could that be a touchdown when the ball immediately squirted out and ended up 10 yards down the field?
So now 10 seconds left on the clock. Of course, it's not running. This is the extra point. Kaiser, on to kick the extra point, has not made a field goal or extra point all evening long. He's 0 for 2 so far. Well, 0 for 1 with one and 0 for 1 with another. And that one, he missed it!
He missed it! Ball don't lie!
He misses the field goal!
Don't lie!
And the game is tied at 14 with 10 seconds left on the clock.
Ball don't lie!
Can you believe it?
Oh, my goodness. If you're the Stockdale Mustangs, you are going to call Rasheed Wallace and tell him thank you for the statement, because that's a perfect example of them almost losing the game on an unfortunate call that they don't lose. And now it looks like we might have a little bit of overtime, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we are going to have a little bit of overtime here. And wow, what a game. I mean, This is absolutely incredible. And what a twist and turn and next twist and next turn and U-turn and all kinds of turns and crazy. I mean.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Well, if you're Frontier, you still have to be frustrated from the fact that you're tied in this football game. But nonetheless, you just got a second opportunity. And now, outside of something weird happening in this next 10 seconds, it's 0-0.
And then look at this. The hands team for Frontier is up, including the quarterback, number 5, Cheveria.
Wow.
Part of that hands team. And here comes a kick, and they try to get that one through. And that's going to be a penalty because it goes straight out of bounds. And Reese Greer did a great job of getting out of the way on that one.
Yes, he did.
As they were aiming right at him. And by the way, if they had studied film on that, someone tried that to him a couple of games back, and he dodged that one as well. So he's really smart about not going after the ball and just getting out of the way and letting it go.
Wow.
So now, no time goes off the clock because it wasn't touched or handled by anyone. So that's a smart play by the clock operator here at Stockdale. And the Titans are going to have the ball at the 41-yard line, which is 5 yards from where the ball went out of bounds.
Wow.
The minimum would have been the 35-yard line if it had gone out of bounds, but now it's going to be the 30. Well, I'm sorry. They're saying it's the 36-yard line. Correction, the 41-yard line is where the ball went out. It went out at the 36. So now look at this. Travis Pluggy with the arm is in the game now, and I'm guessing that they're going to let him just air it out.
Last second.
And he's going to throw it over the middle.
You got a pass to Smith.
And is he going to get out of bounds?
He gets out of bounds. He does get out of bounds. 2 seconds left.
And there were 2 seconds left, but 1 or 2 doesn't really matter. It's going to be one or the other. So 1 play left to go. Why are you? And he's winding the clock. The official wound the clock.
Oh, my goodness.
Why in the world, if he got out of bounds, why did he start the clock?
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. And Bandy is just going to.
Oh, my goodness. You know, I try my best to
Now,
stay.
there are new rules that we should probably tell the audience at home. If forward progress is stopped prior to getting out of bounds, you are still considered inbounds. And in this case, they're saying forward progress had been stopped. So therefore, if forward progress is stopped, the clock still runs. So once they reset the ball because of the first down, and they can wind the clock, and that's why it's expired. They're stating that he was stopped, forward progress was stopped prior to him getting out of bounds. Now, Whether you agree with that or not is another opinion.
Yes.
I'm going to let the fans at home make that determination. Kenny, I'm not going to let you say a thing.
Please don't.
Because right now, the look on Kenny Calvin's face is one
goodness.
of chagrin and surprise.
And I have my hand over my mouth, ladies and gentlemen, so I don't say anything.
So right now, we're going to go to overtime in this game, and this is the first overtime of the entire season for the Kern High Network. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yes. Extra duties with Titan Tom.
So now,
wow, this has been a crazy second half. Now we're going in extra time. And more than anything, I mean, as a former player and coach, I get frustrated with missed calls because I know how much it means to the players. And that's who I'm thinking about in those moments. You know, so for the listeners, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit extra abrasive when we got some missed calls from our officials. But I'm thinking about the kids.
And I've said this enough to know that I've said it too much, but they don't call him the best color guy in the business for nothing.
Well, I mean, it's just tough, man. You got kids, you know, they play their hearts out. You know, you expect things to go well enough for the officials not to be an issue. However, in this second half, we've seen a couple of things that have turned into some issues. The first being a possible drop pass that wasn't called incomplete. It was called complete after the ball hit the ground. Defenders saw the ball hit the ground. The next play after that, the same defender that saw the ball hit the ground gets upset and says something to a opposing player or official. That turns into a penalty. Puts Stockdale in position to be in the red zone. And then they get the opportunity at a corner route, which is a very well thrown ball by Kaiser to Gradowitz. Gradowitz appears to catch it. And then the ball squirts out and goes about 10 more yards through the back of the end zone. Yet the official calls it a touchdown. And then they missed the PAT.
And I'm hoping that Julian Wilson, our production and cameraman, got that good on tape and maybe even posted that one on our Facebook. So that way we get a live replay of that one. So that'll be interesting to go back and review that one. So fans, by the way, if you haven't had a chance, go check out our Facebook page at KHSD Athletics. Julian Wilson posting replay and highlight information on the Facebook page all evening long, and also catch it on our Twitter feed at KHSD Athletics. So now they're out at midfield, and they're tossing the coin, and we're going to see who's going to get the ball to start. And it looks like Frontier has won the toss.
Wow, crazy game. You couldn't script this.
No, you sure couldn't. Hey, real quick, fans, we'd like to thank a number of people in the Kern High School District for their support of the Kern High Network and highlighting all of the great things that our student athletes do. And, of course, we'd be remiss without recommending our Director of School Support Services, Mr. Stan Green, and, of course, those that work for the Achieve magazine, Mr. Javier Valdez, Victoria Valencia, Miguel Garcia, and, of course, our illustrious staff that works in the Office of School Support Services, Deanna Ribbons, Dayanir Aguinaga, Genesis Sikal, Vanessa Ramos, Ashley Ortega, and Catherine Lugo.
Love you guys.
Thank you to everything that you guys do for us. So it looks like Frontier did win the toss.
Wow.
These are much the same as college rules. Everybody gets the ball. So you get a chance. So, of course, Frontier is going to give up the ball for the first possession and let Stockdale try to put it in the end zone.
All right, well, Titan Tom, I've calmed down now. I'm a little bit more calm. I was a little bit riled up. Shotgun double set for Kaiser.
So Kaiser, he's going to hand that one off up the middle, and that's going to be number 10, Darius Larsoul on the carry. And we've called his name quite a few times this evening, and that's a 5-yard pickup on the play. So the Titans, their front three right now are Riley Hernandez, Meyer Simmons, and Jake Andrews. And a handoff once again up the middle. And Andrews, great job.
3rd and about 6.
And there's going to be a stop in the backfield by Andrews. Big move there. And nice patience and good job of Hernandez and Simmons blocking up the middle for Andrews to get around the end and get that tackle.
The defensive line of Frontier is the unsung hero for this football game for them because they've prevented Stockdale from just running all over them like everybody expected them to.
Absolutely. So now Kaiser, he's going to look to his right and fire. That's going to be caught, number 16, Nathaniel Crum. And that's a first down for Stockdale inside the 15-yard line down to the 14.
And in comes Jacob Jones. He's looking to contribute any way he can. I love the fact that he's being a positive asset no matter how many reps he's got tonight. Shout out to the Jones gang.
So keep an eye on Hollis and Gradowitz up there on the far side. Kaiser, and he's going to hand that off to number 5, Jones. Jones on the carry. Oh!
Jacob.
It almost got away. Had it not been for the tackle, the shoestring tackle, number 10, Byron Floyd, and a pickup of 7 on the play.
Zone read.
Mustangs down to the 7-yard line now.
They go zone read, taken outside, and Jacob, though he's been to the side, now that he's actually having the opportunity to warm up, maybe he's well rested. Trips open set. Stockdale threatening to score from the 7.
Kaiser hands it off to Jones, and he's going to inch forward and pick up another yard on the play.
1.5.
And here's where, if you're Stockdale's offensive personnel and coordinators, you know you have Jones. He's on the field. Everybody else knows he's on the field. Might be a better opportunity to use him as a decoy. Play action pass.
So Kaiser on the keeper. Wow, and he's in. Touchdown, Mustangs.
Just as I said, they used Jacob Jones as the decoy on the inside run with the RPO. Kaiser keeps it as the defensive end crashes down. Touchdown, Mustangs. But you can thank Jacob Jones for that more than anybody as Kaiser powers it in.
Now, keep in mind, they still have to make another field goal here. Although, you know what? They're not going to. They're going to go for 2. Field goal hasn't been there for them all night long, so now the coach is going to go for a 2-point conversion.
Wow, and if you're Frontier and Coach Chris Bandy, you got to be feeling pretty upset right now, being that you allowed this football team to get back into the football game with uncharacteristic penalties. Stockdale lining up for 2, shotgun double set, Kaiser and Jones.
He's going to go back to pass. Here comes the Titans. Uh-oh. And that's intercepted.
Oh, and that would have been to the house for 2 points if this was college football.
And that's great defense out there. I think that's number 9, Jaden Smith.
Amazing defense, because that can be a game-winning play if Frontier can find a way to get into the end zone and convert their extra point. Wow.
So now the Titans have got to do the same thing, and then all they've got to do after that is get a 1-point conversion, which they have the ability to do that with their kicker, Daniel Foster.
Or go ahead.
Boy, I tell you, when Stan Green sent me a message and asked me if I would be part of the Kern High Network broadcast, I had no idea that 90% of the games that I would get to broadcast would be some of the best games I've ever seen.
Now look at single coverage up here on the far side, but then, of course, Zeke Armijo, he's going to come over and help out, I'm sure. And look at this.
Got him.
And he overthrows him. He had him in the end zone, and he missed.
Woo.
Wow. Just missed Jaden Smith. Actually, no, that was Jaden Perez.
Perez had a step on him, but the DB was closing in, so you had to put some heat on the football, which Chavaria did. You would just like to see him put a little bit more air under it and allow his receiver to run to where only he can get it.
Missed him by about a foot.
Trips open set. Frontier facing the single high safety look of Stockdale.
So Chevrolet back to pass, and he's got a little bit of pressure. Oh, no, and he's got somebody on him, but he tries to get the ball away, and that one's going to be an incomplete pass.
Wow.
And that was intended for number 4, Jaden Hudson. It falls incomplete, and that's going to bring up third down for the Titans.
Now, right now, if you're the Titans, you know it's fourth down territory. So you don't need it all right now. You just have to make sure you get something. And it's important for the coaching staff to call something on multiple levels to where you may take a shot and go for it, but you also want to try to get this first down or yardage close to it.
So now Chevrolet in the backfield. He has a little bit of help back there blocking his number 25, Caden Hernandez. 4 receiver set, and he drops back and throws left. He's got a wide open receiver over there.
Wow.
But he needs to hang on to the ball.
Frontier came to play, Titan Tom.
And that's number 4, Jaden Hudson over there.
How about
and the Titans now down inside the 10 to the 7-yard line and knocking on the door.
How about the throw? That's a grown man's throw, throwing a deep comeback out from the middle of the pocket. Chavaria putting on a show.
And this isn't good news because Evelino Bornia, he came up a little bit lame, and he's not doing well, so he's going to come out. And in his place, number 76, Ruben Saldana.
Motion from Smith.
Oh, no. Movement. And it's going to be a false start on the Titans. No! I stand corrected. Encroachment on the defense.
Wow, I didn't see the encroachment either.
Wow.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're in overtime. Stockdale up 20-14, but they missed their 2-point conversion attempt. And Frontier is knocking on the door with a 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. Our first overtime game of Kern High Network football of all season. Titan Tom Myers, Kenny Calvin, and Dr. J.
So now, 1st down and goal just inside the 5. Chevrolet is going to hang on to it. And he's driving. Where did he get to? We're still waiting for the call.
He's close. Looks like he's going to be
the official walking down the goal line.
Oh, my goodness.
Chavaria pushing forward, almost got in, and now it's 2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line for the Titans.
2nd and goal from the 1. You got a good offensive line. Here's where you don't need to do anything special. Just fall forward, young man.
Titans are going to go heavy set here is my guess, with Riley Hernandez, number 46.
Full house backfield.
Leading the way on the right side. And that's Caden Hernandez, the back. And a good push by the defense of Stockdale.
Oh, and they got a touchdown!
Titans!
Woo! And all you need is an extra point to win the football game. How sweet would this victory be after all the calls that have went against Frontier in this second half?
So now, here's something to watch out for. And this is what we've been talking about tonight. This has been one of the biggest deals. The defensive line of Stockdale. Let's see if they can hold it together here.
They still
so now
on
for the extra point to win the game. Number 11, Daniel Foster. On to hold number 4, Jaden Hudson. And long snapper number 20, Ryan Bozanich. The kick gets up. It's good.
Frontier with the walk-off victory.
Titans win.
Titans win.
Titans win.
Wow!
Are you kidding me?
Amazing football game by Frontier Titans. Everything against them in this 4th quarter. They came back. Ball don't lie.
What a game and what a disappointing end to a great comeback by the Stockdale Mustangs.
Wow.
And wow, just incredible. An incredible game. And I'll tell you what. It's been a season of up and downs for both squads. This was a game that both teams can walk away from tonight. They've had highlighted moments that both of them can look back on. This was a great game.
Well, Titan Tom, I got to tell you, we thought this was going to be a walk-away game for Frontier. Stockdale comes back and plays their hearts out. They had a little help, I got to be honest. You know, a couple of calls that went against Frontier. That dropped ball right here, that should have been incomplete. That touchdown shouldn't have been a touchdown. You love to see justice prevail on the football field. I'm never cheering for anybody when we broadcast, but I want to see justice. And that's what we just saw from a Frontier football team that fought their way back to win in overtime.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, it's now time for the Kern High Network Player of the Game.
Oh, my goodness.
And so with many of the different people that we had in tonight's game, of course, I mean, for Stockdale, number 3, Jeremiah Gradowitz. And, of course, my leader for Stockdale is Jack Kaiser. Because Jack Kaiser led this team.
Flawless.
I think he had over 250 yards passing tonight.
Absolutely.
Did a fantastic job of leading the Stockdale Mustangs. So for Stockdale, Jack Kaiser is my pick for Player of the Game. For Frontier, you have a bunch of different players. Jalen Stevens did a great job on defense. Kevin Hughes did a great job on defense. Eric Miranda did a great job on defense. On offense, Riley Hernandez and Meyer Simmons did a great job of blocking, and Meyer Simmons and Riley Hernandez both did a great job on defense. But for me, the Frontier Titan that I think really did and deserves the Player of the Game is Israel Chavaria.
I'm not even going to drag out the dialogue. Chavaria came in, and I'm going to tell you why I'm picking this kid. You have a situation where you got rotating quarterbacks. Very easy to hang your head when you're not the guy that's getting the opportunity. Frontier's coaching staff did the best they could to put them in a position to win the football game by putting both of them on the field in opportune times. Chavaria didn't hold his head. He came back in and played like a man with his feet and with his arm. Kern High Network Player of the Game, Mr. Israel.
So there you go. Israel Chavaria, our Kern High Network Player of the Game. Titans win in overtime.
Wow.
20-14 right here on the Kern High Network. For everybody here at the Kern High Network, Tom Myers joined by Kenny Calvin, Julian Wilson. We'll see you the next time. So long, everybody.